Hello everybody! How are we doing on this fine Tuesday evening? I hope you're all doing well. I certainly am. I'm gonna miss Yuri. Not the guy, but the fact we probably won't get Yuri while we're investigating. So true! They framed our diva! They framed her! Why would they do that? Homophobia at its finest, honestly. Whoever the culprit is. Shame. For shame on them. I'm very excited. I don't have any current theories as to who did it, but that's usually because I investigate and then I lock in my two suspects. So I feel like with DRA, I had a really good track record at the start, and then I got less and less correct as the cases progressed. Right now, we're 1 for 1 in terms of one of my two locks being accurate, but we will see if that pattern keeps up. But yeah, I guess we can go ahead and take a look at the tier list before we hop on in. Here's kind of where everybody's standing as of right now after Chapter 1 daily. A couple people shifted around a little bit, for better and for worse. But we're still pretty early in. Usually the only times people are locked into their tiers are after they die and after their trial, because, like, more information can come out about victims during the trial that can affect their placement, if that makes sense. So it's usually not set in stone until the end of the chapter where the dead characters will end up. But for now, still mostly C tier, still kind of getting to know everybody. Nobody I flat out like hate. We don't have anybody like that. Yeah, the worst I can say is honestly Yuri just kind of got on my nerves. But he's also gone now. So, I don't want to say yippee, but we only have C tiers and above at the moment. But anywho, I think we can go ahead and hop into a little bit of an investigation. Okay. Full speed ahead. I guess let's just go... Oh, it's always the unknown liquids with the first cases, isn't it? There's some sort of liquid on the ground. What is this? I wonder. It's rubber ball fluid. I didn't have the guts to taste it, so I just crouched down and smelled the liquid. It smells like some sort of chemical substance.
Say...
It was Mitch again.
Sora, what are you doing crouching on the ground?
There's some kind of liquid here.
Indeed.
Oh, that's an anesthetic solution. Oh, okay. Anesthetic solution.
It's obvious.
This one in particular is quite often used in medical surgeries. It's used for general anesthesia. Isn't anesthesia like a gas usually? How do you know all that?
Certainly.
I've smelt it quite a lot. I've been kidnapped numerous times now, but did you spend a lot of time in the hospital or something? Moreover, the fact if this is here, the culprit used it, right? But the liquid alone wouldn't be enough to render someone unconscious.
Don't worry.
I already went and confirmed that one of the needle shots is missing in the infirmary. Okay, they injected it. Okay. I went to go check as soon as I found out an anesthetic was involved. The culprit must have used the shot to inject Yuri with the anesthetic. That's pretty impressive, Kanade.
Also...
Did you also know the shots can be precisely measured to know how much you want injected? In other words, even an amateur can control the amount of time a victim will be unconscious. I don't know if the culprit utilized that, but it's definitely an important clue. I see. I'll add it to my notes. Alright. But I have to say, you've completely changed, Kanade. Your actions and your way of thinking. It's almost as if you're used to this kind of thing. I mean, after seeing Yuri die like that, I've hardly been able to keep myself together. Used to it?
Oh, no, I just read a lot of mystery novels. She's a true crime girly. And if I panic, poor little Hibiki will only suffer more.
Even though Kanade's personality took a creepy 180-degree flip, her account definitely brings us one step closer to finding the culprit. Okay. Wires. Oh, what's this? Some long, thread-like stuff is scattered all over the floor. Upon touching it, it feels much sharper than normal thread. Are these wires? They're so sharp you could probably cut your finger just by holding them. I instinctively knew this must be what caused all the cuts on Yuri's body. If he was cut by these wires, it would definitely explain the state of his body right now. The cause of death was definitely from falling, so this isn't the murder weapon, but it still seems like it's important. I'll add it to my notes. Okay. Question for the chat. I remember in DRA, I had to take pictures of all the truth bullets because you couldn't access them during the trial. Is that still the case? Do I still need to do that, or will they be available to me? It's Yuri Kagarin's corpse. How did he, no matter how creepy he was, end up like this? Yuri, I will find the culprit. I promise. I don't think he wants us to, but I guess I need to inspect the body if I'm gonna find the culprit. Yuri's dead body was in a dreadful state. His whole body was dripping in blood, and all of his joints were broken and twisted in obscure directions.
I guess it's because he fell from so high up.
You can access them? Wonderful. Okay, thanks. There's a huge hook stuck inside his left calf. It looks so deeply rooted it won't budge when you touch it. Ew. And connected to that huge hook is a rope.
So the culprit pulled Yuri with this rope all the way to the top floor, then dropped him.
Even at a glance, this rope seems quite strong and sturdy. It would take a lot of force to cut this rope.
I get that the culprit pulled him up with the hook and the rope, but what's with the wound on his right calf?
There was probably another hook, right? First glance, it looks like the same hook made this wound. But was there a reason to hook both calves? I'm not sure what the culprit was thinking, but I'll write this down just in case. I didn't find anything else that wasn't already on the monochrome file. I figured there must be some sort of big clue hidden on the body, but with the exception of the fact the rope and hook were used, there's nothing like that. I guess I need to investigate some more. Okay. Oh wait, I already looked at the file. Oopsie. Yeah. Shobai?
Hey.
You there.
That's right.
Yeah, you. The girl with the white hair. Huh? Me? That's strange. You of all people calling someone over. That never crossed my mind. And white hair? Isn't that a bit rude? Sort of makes me feel old. Dude, you have gray hair. You cannot be talking. Whatever. I just want to tell you something interesting. You were thinking that hostess over there is suspicious, weren't you? Are you talking about Yuruko?
That's right.
Come on, you can't fool me. Your face says it all. Well, about that. There's something interesting I want to tell you. I happened to see her walking over to the bell tower just this morning. What?
How about this?
Not only that, she was also holding a rope in her hands. You know, like the one attached to the dead body right now. The culprit did that, but why would Yuruko bring... Oh, well, I don't know anything about that. I'm just testifying what I saw. Yuruko went to the bell tower this morning with a rope in her hands. I could see this guy being the culprit, but I don't really... I think the fact that he's, like, tried to murder people already, everyone's gonna be like, obviously, it's Shobai, but it's not. I don't think it's gonna be him. He seems... I don't want to say too important, but that's like saying Yuruko's the culprit. There's no way I can know for sure until the class trial. I'll take note of what Shobai said, just in case. Shinji, is everything alright with the crime scene? Sora. Yup, everything's perfectly under control. I guess with 3 people watching this place, the culprit can't touch a thing. By the way, Sora, maybe this is just me, but about Yoruko. please stop stuttering and speak normally. It's hard to get anything out of you. About Yuruko, I don't know. Isn't it a bit strange? You're saying she's suspicious?
The thing is...
She seems different than before. I've been jogging with Hajime every morning, but today he was late because of some business. Was he now? So I was spending time inside the mono cruise.
Then...
And as soon as morning came and doors unlocked, I saw Yuruko head outside right away. What was he doing? I would love to know. Yuruko went outside as soon as the doors opened?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I have no idea where she went, but she was odd, and she looks even more suspicious now. Come to think of it, we found Yuruko at the top of the bell tower. If by chance she's not the culprit, then how'd she get up there? I can't be sure if she's the culprit yet, but she's definitely connected to the case. Thanks, Shinji. I think your account's gonna help us a lot. But Sora, why are you grabbing my hand all of a sudden? Ignoring the stuttering Shinji, I added his account to my notes. Where were you?
But...
Yuri, he may have been a weird one, but he definitely didn't deserve to die. No one in the world deserves to die.
Yeah, well...
I feel bad for not building a closer bond with him. Do you now? Mikado, what do you have to say about this?
Incredible!
A murder, at last, Miss Sora. You look really excited.
Quite exciting.
Why would I not be? We can finally begin the main event of this killing game, the class trial. By the way, I plan to do my best to figure out the culprit and the murder trick as well. This first murder has filled me up with enthusiasm. Sure, do your best or whatever. Man, he funny. I don't know, I like him. Is this the spiral staircase that leads... This is the spiral staircase that leads up to the top of the bell tower. It really does go up high. It doesn't even look like it goes that high from outside. Yuki and I took these stairs to the top floor, but the only thing we found there was Yuruko. I thought for sure the culprit would be there. Or maybe Yuruko is the culprit. Da da da. I can't jump to any conclusions yet. Whatever the culprit did, definitely pulled up Yuri, so at one point they definitely went up these stairs. If I consider the height of these stairs, it would probably take at least 5 minutes to climb them. 5 minutes, man. So when did the culprit actually go up these stairs? I'm suspicious of, is her name Kokoro? The psychologist lady, because we keep talking about, like, I think they could have used a device, like a mechanism, and she's like, she builds things. But, huh? This is, upon inspecting the spiral staircase from here, I realized something odd. What are those wires? I think there were wires like this on the first floor, too. When I touched them, I could tell they were one and the same. They connected to the walls along the spiral staircase. Looking closer, they weren't only strung from the bottom to the top. Wires were hung across the walls in intervals. They've already been snapped, so that means the wires from the bottom floor must have been hung up here before. These were definitely set up by the culprit, but why would they go out of their way to do this? I have no idea, but I'll still take note of this. Okay. The bells, 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 bells. It's an enormous bell that decorates the top of the bell tower. Huh? There's something odd here. What are those? They look like traces of some sort. Looking from the bottom, it looks like something was swept through the top of the inside walls of the bell. I wonder what made those traces. I recall that before Yuri fell, the bell rang. Could it be related to that? I've never looked inside the bell before, so it's possible those traces have always been there. Even though I was unsure, I wrote it down in my notes. Alright, that's everything in here, I think. Do we have to leave? Oh, there's another thing down here. Setsuka, what's up, queen? Setsuka, is the investigation going smoothly?
Oh?
Ah, Sora.
Thing is...
Well, about that, I just found something strange. Something strange?
Listen.
Come follow me for a second. This is the entrance to the bell tower.
Now then.
Do you see that thing in the bushes? That thing? This is... a life jacket. A life jacket?
How's that?
And I'm pretty sure no one used this to take a swim. Do you think that this is something the culprit might have left behind? It's very close to the crime scene, after all. Why would they need to use a life jacket?
Aside from that,
Look carefully, Sora. There's a hook grappled to the life jacket. Oh, you're right. And this hook.
Yep.
Same one we found in Yuri's calf. Still don't know what exactly it was used for, but it was definitely used in the murder. Setsuka, by all odds, this is crucial evidence.
now then.
I thought so too. Let's keep this in mind. So either... Oh, there's no blood on it though, so I don't think Yuri wore it. The culprit might have worn it. Maybe... I don't know, this is crazy, but what if the culprit, like, made a pulley system with Yuri's weight and, like, jumped off the bell tower, and that's what pulled Yuri up while they went down, and then somehow, like, just made sure the pulley worked so it would slow so they could land safely, and then they took off the life jacket and cut the rope, and that's what caused Yuri to fall as they escaped. They ran out through the life jacket in the bushes and then met up with everybody else. That's kind of... I'm not sure if that would work, but that's my current potential mechanism. A life jacket that seems to have been used by the culprit, but for what purpose? Tethered life jacket and hook has been added. That's everything in here. Yeah. I'm not quite sure where else to look, though.
Oh?
Oh, Rara, where are you going? Hello, Setsuka. I'm gonna look elsewhere. I know the murder happened here, but there could be clues in other places, right?
Besides.
Alright, in that case, I suggest you visit the guest house. It's right next to the bell tower, and you may be able to find something thanks to our party there last night. I see. Alright, thanks. Good idea. Oops, wrong way. It's always the parties, man. Haven't they played Danganronpa too?
Hello. Sora, you've decided to come here too.
Since the guest house is so close to the bell tower, I thought I'd check it out for clues.
That's right. Good idea. This place does indeed have some clues. You should look for them.
I'm sussing her out. It's a shelf with various household goods placed on it. Nothing looks particularly valuable. Alright. Yuruko!
Sora, what brings you here?
That's my line. What are you doing here?
But nothing much, but you know, the murder happened right after the night of the party, right? So I figured the party must have had something to do with the murder.
Oh, I came here for the same reason.
Hey, Sora, when do you think the culprit decided to kill Yuri?
By when, you mean?
It's complicated. I mean, there were 6 people who stayed up late drinking yesterday, including me. Actually, there was a period when Yuri was alone. Maybe that's when the culprit took their chance.
So, Yuri was left alone last night? Yuruko, do you think you could explain in detail what happened last night?
Listen. Well, after we sent you away, we kept drinking and partying. Of course, I wasn't drinking, but the others were drinking non-stop. They were fully drunk. But eventually, the nighttime came, so we were forced to head back to the mono cruise, but...
Oh, the anesthesia was used on her. Okay, at first I was like, I thought they would have spiked her drink, but I forgot she didn't drink, so... That's how they anesthetized Yuruko with the syringe, and then brought her up to the bell tower and framed her. And because they put such emphasis on, like, even an amateur would know exactly how long they could keep someone knocked out, they timed it so that, yeah, I see.
Yuri said he needed to use the bathroom and that we should leave without him.
So you left him alone? What were you thinking? I'm still also kind of convinced they unlocked Yuri's handbook and used it to text Yuki to come, and that's how they like set up the time frame as well. Because I don't think Yuri would ever text a man.
I don't mean it like that. Wait, he wasn't completely alone. The 6 of us were there together. But we need to hurry, because if we didn't make it back before nighttime, we get locked out. To be honest, things were so out of control with me trying to take care of all the drunk people that I don't even remember some of the details. Someone definitely went with him, but I can't quite recall who it was.
So you didn't check if he actually returned to the mono cruise, right?
Maybe... Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't even know if he made it back. I could have never guessed at the time that things would end up the way they did. I was being careless. I guess asking the other students if they saw Yuri go into the ship last night might be a good idea. Anyway, Yuri was definitely alive up until we all drank yesterday, so maybe that would help. Also, this is just in case, but I'm shocked Sora isn't, like, accusing her at all. You're not the culprit, are you? What are you saying?
Of course not. Why would I be the culprit? I see. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about this whole mess during the class trial. Thanks to Yuruko's account, we might be able to know when the killer went for Yuri. Alright, what's in the drinks? Glass bottles with some liquid inside. They're probably from last night's party. The smell is still lingering. I don't know how people manage to drink this stuff. You don't drink because it tastes good most of the time, Sora. You drink for the effects. One sip and I was already feeling dizzy. I was smelling all the bottles when one of them suddenly caught my attention. Huh? Wait, this bottle. The inside of this bottle doesn't smell. Does this mean this isn't alcohol? We have a faker! Yeah, okay, so the culprit was definitely one of the drunk, quote-unquote drunk people. They faked their inebriation to kind of, I guess, give themselves an alibi or an out. But they actually were planning to kill Yuri. Instead of having the smell of stinging alcohol, the bottle I picked up smelled like nothing. After some hesitation, I drank it. It's water. It really doesn't taste like anything. This is just water. A bottle of water amongst the bottles of alcohol? Maybe someone just wanted to drink water last night, but I should take note just in case. Oh, it's already time?
I'm pleased that you're all investigating so rigorously.
Short and sweet,
your time
alright.
is now up. The investigation has ended. We will now commence the class trial. So please, gather at the entrance to the class trial room on the first floor of the Mono Cruise.
It seems the investigation time is over. We did our best, but we can't be sure as to who the culprit is until the class trial. We need to do this. We need to trust everyone's alibis. We need to hope we can solve all the mysteries of this case in the class trial. Mono Cruise first floor. He must be talking about that door. I should hurry. You're all here.
Hey,
You're late, Sora. Last place again. I'm late? Sorry about that.
well,
We were worried about you. Why were you so late? I came as soon as I heard the announcement.
Hey, maybe it's because you're the culprit, right?
As if.
Hibiki, you can't say stuff like that to poor Sora without any evidence.
hey now.
It's like what Kana said earlier. Either we expose the culprit or we all die. Those are the only two outcomes. If we mess this up, we're all dead.
What happened to us? Just yesterday we were partying. How did it come to this?
Sabrina Carpenter mentioned. So true. Oh, I leave quite an impression.
That's just
We don't have time to think about that. If we give up here, we won't be able to survive. Huh? Wait, is this the class trial room? It's not at all like how I imagined it would be. Honestly, the saddest thing about Yuri dying, I don't get to do the fun accent anymore.
Good grief.
No, this is only the entrance to the class trial room. See that elevator? We'll be taking that down to the class trial room.
What did you say?
Take that down? Down where? Aren't we on a cruise ship?
This is stupid.
Yeah, whatever. Let's get this over with.
Hey.
You're pretty damn laid back considering all our lives are in danger.
Sorry
That's
to have
the
kept you
me
waiting.
espresso.
Everyone seems to have gathered, so let us waste no time in getting started. Now, the thrilling, the extreme class trial. Everyone, please enter the elevator in front of you and make your way to the class trial room. As you might have already realized, you cannot escape from the class trial. Face it head on, using what you learned in your investigation. Now let us begin. The first class trial of the Utsuroshima field trip of mutual killing.
Ugh.
So, we're really doing this.
I don't want to go down. Are we gonna be able to find the culprit? It'll be really bad if we can't.
You know what? Bring it on. It's not like we can escape this anyways. Why did he pause like that?
Yes.
It's like what Big Bro says. If we put our heads together and discuss this, we'll find the culprit. It would be really funny if I lost my suspicions of him being the victim, only for him to turn out to be the culprit. Because if my death flag radar was correct, just not quite at the right time.
Alright. The culprit who killed Yuri. Let's find them, no matter what.
Okay, I gotta lock in. It's starting. Once we go down that elevator, there's no going back. No running away, and no giving up. But I'm not alone. I need to survive through this with everyone. Okay. I gotta lock in 2 suspects. So let's look at my bullets. Because I need to see... The first thing I need is to find who is drinking. My catching up with the VODs, can't wait. Awesome, yeah, can't wait to have you here. Only a couple parts so far, but let's see. Who is drinking? Who did anyone say who the... No? They didn't give me a list. Okay, I gotta try to remember. She said 6 people, including her, were drinking. And it was Shinji, Hajime, sorry, I still don't know all their names by heart. Setsuka, Kanade, one, two, three, four. I'm missing one person. Was it Yuri? It must have been Yuri. So I don't think it was Kanade. I don't think it was Yuruko. I don't even think it was Setsuka. So that's 3, 4. Okay. Here's who I'm locking in. I think it's either Shinji or Hajime. I think they've both gotten like just enough relevance to be important. Enough to be first culprits. I want to see what they each have to say.
Honor.
Either Judas or Faith's death. What's done is done. If we can't avoid it, let's at least try to overcome it. Class trial or whatever it is, just bring it on. I'm gonna overcome it all. Okay. Yeah, I feel pretty good about this, actually. More than I usually do. I think it's either Shinji or Hajime. If you made me pick one right now, I kind of lean Shinji. But I will adjust that during the trial between the two of them. But that's my lock-in for who I think the culprit is. Ashikins, welcome! Didn't flunk the pre-calc test? We love to see it. Congrats. Is everyone ready? This is it. Alright, let's do this. After making sure everyone is in the elevator, we pushed on the button and the door shut. We felt the elevator begin to descend. Nice elevator shot. Elevator made a loud sound, but steadily descended. Oh, there wasn't an elevator CG in DRA. They just used the pixels, so normally everyone would have been talking to each other. I can't wait to see this get depressingly more empty as time goes on. But the vibrations of the elevator seemed to make us all mute. It alerted us of the class trial to come. The elevator sound grew louder, almost as if to make fun of all our fear. Thoughts that we may never see the light of day again crossed all our minds. But we couldn't let that happen. Whoever killed Yuri wasn't going to get away with this. As everyone had their own thoughts of what may or may not happen, the elevator came to a screeching stop. You take AP tests on the computer? Oh wow, we took ours on paper back in the day. Maybe I'm getting old. What's your opinion of this compared to DRA? On a technical level, this is leaps and bounds above. I mean, this is so impressive, just from when it was made, and it was made by like one person in like RPG Maker. This is incredible. The art's better, the designs are better. Really impressive. From a narrative perspective, I also think it's a little tighter, but they're, well, I don't know. They're pretty on par, actually. I do like this a little bit more in terms of the narrative so far, but it's so early that it's too early to tell. But it's basically all praise. I have no major complaints right now, but we gotta see how this trial goes. Because some of the trials in DRA were a little hit and miss. So we'll see. I'm excited. Very good so far, though.
Hello there.
Woohoo! You finally arrived. Welcome to the most advanced facility of the Mono Cruise, the class trial room.
Ho ho!
I like what you've done with the place. Very impressive.
What? This feels like an actual court or something.
Very well.
I assume you're all ready. I also assume you all know there isn't any running away from this. Let us begin.
Now.
Everyone, go to the stands with your names on them.
Very good.
Excellent. Your solemn expression tells me you're all going to face this with the appropriate resolve. I wonder, because in DRA, they just kind of overlaid the characters on top of this. I wonder if they're going to do that or if we're actually going to have, like, class trial shots. Now, let's begin. The first class trial for the Utsuroshima field trip of mutual killing. The class trial's finally starting, and all of our lives are on the line. If we win, we live and the Blacken dies. If we lose, the Blacken lives and we all die. In other words, no matter what happens, someone will face their death here. I can't let those thoughts cloud my vision. I need to focus on the class trial right now. Yuri, the ultimate spaceman. He's no longer with us due to his brutal murder. He may have been uncooperative, he may have been a terrible person to men and women alike, but he was still our classmate. It's like Emma said, if this killing game hadn't happened, we would have all been such good friends. I don't know about that, but okay. The culprit, the one who did this terrible thing to Yuri, is among us right now. Give me those portraits. Oh! Animated too! Oh, this is heat. This goes hard. Various thoughts intertwine, and the curtain finally opens. A trial of life and death. A trial of truth and lies. A trial of trust and betrayal. This is fire! A trial of fact and fiction. A trial of pleas and excuses. A trial of friends and foes. A trial like no other. A class trial. Yes, I would. Okay, should probably do skills. I only have 2, but I'm gonna use them anyway. Increase it. Oh wait, I have another one. Yeah. Okay. Alright, I think we're good to go.
Firstly, allow me to briefly explain the rules of this class trial.
Oh my gosh, that's right, it's voiced, and we are getting perspective shots.
The results of the class trial will be decided solely by your votes. If you manage to correctly identify the blackened, only they will receive punishment. But should you vote incorrectly,
I assume we don't have 3D.
everyone
this is all still
except
2D,
for the blackened will
but
be
it's still
punished.
quite impressive.
They will be able to escape this field trip of mutual killing.
So, it's begun. The class trial. One of the people here brutally murdered Yuri.
Well, first and foremost,
Wait a minute, Monocro. There's something I'd like to ask first.
oh, and what might that be?
Accomplices. Can there be accomplices in a case?
Base Kanade.
Good question. Whether or not there are accomplices will be a huge factor in deciding the culprit.
A good question indeed. I guess it wasn't specified in the rules.
Well, it kind of. Oh no, I'm thinking of the wrong thing. You're right, it wasn't.
To be blunt, there can be accomplices.
What? So it's possible?
But in theory.
Only one person gets to actually leave the island anyway.
Of course. The rules even say that only the first murder counts if more should occur. In other words, without any reward, an accomplice is no more than another tool for the culprit.
I was suspicious of Kokoro. I'm not super suspicious of her anymore.
They'd gain nothing from assisting the culprit, after all.
I was suspicious because I thought maybe it was like a mechanism or a device, but now that I think I kind of know how they did it, it wasn't that complicated. I don't really think it was her.
Even if they succeeded, they'd be unable to escape the island alongside the Blackened. More importantly, they'd still face the same execution as the rest of us.
This is just such a fun character idea, like, the mastermind who's just like, yeah, I'm the mastermind, but I want to play the game with you guys. Like, I don't know, I think that's so fun.
He's got that right.
Wait, what's that?
Oh, that. You don't need to concern yourself with it. It would have been Yuri Kagorin's seat, but it's rather sad to just leave a blank space there.
'Cause I've got a blank
That's an awful
space,
sense of humor you've got there.
baby.
Wait, something's off about this. What's that empty seat over there? Whose is it?
It's for the 16th
It's
student.
exactly what it looks like, an empty seat. There's no need to concern yourself with that either. You're very interested in the petty details, aren't you? Questions are fine, but shouldn't you be discussing the murder first?
Right. This place is extremely unpleasant. I'd like to leave as soon as possible.
It might be the last place you ever see if we don't figure out who the culprit is.
Say such terrible things! Wait, all of you. Do you mind if I say something before we begin?
Huh? What is a Kokoro?
I know who the culprit is.
Oh, oop, T.
What? Are you serious?
Oh, this guy's so suspicious! He's so suspicious! Oh, Shinji, you are just digging your own grave. Like, that is a very shiny shovel that you've got.
Who is it? Who's the culprit?
I know who the culprit is, and I know exactly how they did it. So I'll give them the chance to speak.
Is she baiting? Is she hoping someone's gonna come forward? She's a psychologist, so maybe she's like, she doesn't actually know who it is. She's just trying to see if anybody, like, has a suspicious reaction.
Give yourself up now. Perhaps then I may understand that you regret your actions. You'll be found out anyway, and it's better to confess rather than have it dragged out of you. Nobody's confessing.
Obviously. What kind of idiot would tell the truth? They'd be sentencing themselves to death.
All right. We'll do this the hard way.
So who's the culprit, Coco?
I can't tell you that right now.
What? Why are you screwing around? Just tell us. We don't know who it is, so just tell us so we can get this over with. Like Sosie said, I don't want to be here any longer than I have to be.
Would you be able to comprehend it, even if I did tell you?
She's either, like, bluffing and doesn't know who it is, or she does know and she's just kind of pulling a Kyoko.
I would be lucky to be believed. I sense that a few of you are suspecting me already.
But, like, I hope she's not pulling a Kyoko because it was kind of annoying when Kyoko did it, so...
Aha. Your powers of observation are truly outstanding.
This is a class trial. All of our lives are on the line here. We need to find a conclusion that everyone finds acceptable, so that there is no doubt who the culprit is when we all cast our votes. Figure it out for yourselves as much as you can. I'll help you if you get stuck.
This is totally suspicious.
Or just explain it to us step by step.
Hibiki, don't dismiss her when we haven't even started yet. What? What's with that condescending attitude, huh? Do you think I'm an idiot?
Oh, sis, your mood's back up again.
Duh, of course. I don't want to sit around moping forever. I'm really scared, but I'll do whatever it takes to stay alive.
I see. That's good, sis.
Let's get started
Ooh,
then.
knuckles cracked.
Wait a moment. May I say something as well?
Of course, Pookie. Say whatever you like.
What is it now?
I imagine that some of you may suspect me simply because I'm the mastermind. Your opinions on me as a person are inconsequential, but please, for all of our sakes, Treat me as just another student during the class trial. We would all die if we reached the wrong conclusion, after all. I don't want to die either, you know?
That's exactly what the real culprit would say.
He's pointing fingers real quick. Sorry, this is so like confirmation bias, but everything out of this guy's mouth is only further solidifying that I think he did it.
Oh, come now. This is a prime example of what you should not do.
Shinji, I'm sorry, but he's right. If Mikado wanted to act as the mastermind, he had plenty of opportunities to do so before. Everyone here is a suspect, including Mikado and I. The purpose of this discussion is to narrow down that list.
I see. I understand. I'll try my best.
So, can we start now?
Where should we begin? If you're confused, try starting with what we know happened in this case.
Do your best. My life's on the line too.
Should probably start with what we know about the case. I need to try my best. Everyone's lives depend on it. I would, just because I want to know the controls. Yeah, I know all this. Okay. Fire the right bullet. Press shift to change. Okay. Okay, so it's the same controls. S is to skip, A for bullets. Okay. Am I gonna start with one? Yeah. Is it gonna be animated? Because it was static before.
To begin, Riri died at 7:30 in the morning.
I think that's true.
30 minutes after the morning announcements.
Hold on, let me double check. Let me just read the file real quick. Victim is Yuri, found on the 4th floor, bottom of his left calf, markings of wires, deep stab wound on the right, neck, spine are broken, condition of both kneecaps, cause of death is shock from trauma and loss of blood. Okay.
Is it true that Sora and Yuki were together at the scene of the crime?
Yes, Yuri contacted me.
Yep.
After I woke up this morning. When I saw the message asking for help,
This is so well
I
made.
immediately ran to the bell tower. I saw Yuri hanging from a rope,
This is so
badly
cool.
injured. And before I could do anything, he was dragged up. His corpse fell to the ground moments later.
There were so many cuts on Yuri's body.
She's gonna say, is that how he
Could the
died?
murder weapon be a sharp object?
I don't think that's true, but I wanted to hear the rest. Okay.
30. I saw it. And before I could do anything, he was dragged up.
There were so many cuts on Yuri's body. Could the murder weapon be a sharp object?
No. Wait, what? I'm wrong.
To begin, Riri died
wait,
at
what?
7:30 in the morning. 30 minutes after the morning announcements.
Huh?
Is it true that Sora and Yuki were together at the scene of the crime?
Did I do it wrong?
Yes. When I saw Yuri hanging from a rope.
There were so many cuts on Yuri's body. Could the murder weapon be a sharp object?
Oh,
no, that's
okay.
wrong.
I guess I just missed. Oh, I can save after every. Okay. Did I save it? It's sometimes hard to tell. Yeah, okay. Resume.
No, Iroha. Yuri couldn't have been killed by a sharp object. If you check the monochrome file, it says that the cause of death was blunt force trauma. In other words, Yuri's death was likely caused by his fall.
Oh, I see. There were so many cuts on his body that I overlooked that.
There's always someone in the, at least in the first case, who doesn't
Then
read
what
the
are
file.
those cuts from?
The wire. 2 birds on a wire.
Got it. His injuries were caused by the sharp wires.
Wires?
Did you see all the wires strung in between the empty space in the middle of the spiral staircase? Yuri was dragged up by a rope and was cut by the wires as he fell to the ground.
This is all good. My biggest complaint with the trials in the first game is sometimes they went on for so long that we were just talking in circles. But so far the pacing of this one is very good. I feel like we're being direct.
He fell very
It's-
quickly,
it's quite-
which is why the wounds
quite
are so
a
thin
nice
and yet
refreshing.
so numerous.
Oh, so that's why the cuts were there.
You never even checked
Not
the
saying that's always
monofile?
gonna be the
I
case,
can't believe
but-
you call that an investigation.
Oi.
I'm sorry.
Hey, it was an honest mistake. Don't pick on her.
Exactly.
An honest mistake? It's rich of you to say that when we could all die from it. I can't leave my life up to you all if you keep acting like idiots.
Then maybe contribute, man.
Leave your life up to us.
Everyone's lives depend on the outcome of this trial, not just mine, yeah? If the rest of you work hard to find out the culprit, I don't have to waste my own energy.
What? You're basically saying that you're going to leech off of us?
I will intervene if I have to, but I'm not a fan of inefficiency. You're working to save your own hides, so isn't this a favorable outcome for us all?
Sorry, give me 1 sec here. Okay, we're all good. Where were we?
You degenerate ruffian! Have you never even heard of the concept of cooperation with someone?
Now,
Really
now,
called him a
everyone.
degenerate.
We won't accomplish anything if we let ourselves be distracted by people such as Mr. Hashimoto.
This is true.
Let's carry on with deliberations, shall we?
But if the culprit wanted to kill Yuri by dropping him, why did they go through the trouble of installing all of those wires?
I'm not sure. I think we'll have to talk about it a little more.
Alright, so could everyone tell me what they were doing at the time of Riri's death?
Like I said, Sora and I saw Yuri's death with our own eyes. We were together, so does that count as our alibi?
Probably.
I was alone in my room.
Do I have to tell you? I was just wandering around the place.
I doubt many people are gonna
Mr.
have
Kagurine
alibis.
died around 7:30 a.m. So everyone besides Mr. Maeda, Miss Sora, Miss Mitsume,
Maeda? Oh god, I've been saying it wrong this entire time. Yuki, I'm sorry.
and Mr. Hashimoto must have been in the dining hall.
No, Yoriko wasn't there.
Yuko, where were you and what were you doing at the time?
I was also at the bell tower. I met Yuki and Sora there.
The bell tower? But that's the scene of the crime, isn't it?
Why were you bringing rope there, Queen? Who asked you to do that?
If Sora and Yuki were there because of the message. Yoriko, what were you doing there?
What was I doing?
Kanade, just in case it comes up later, Yoriko technically witnessed Yuri's death with us. You heard the body discovery announcement, right? It's only announced when 3 or more people find the body. Sora and I saw it first, and Yoriko a little while after.
Hold on, Mr. Maeda. You claim that Mr. Kagurine was hoisted by a rope?
What? Yeah?
Then it stands to reason that the two of you witnessed the culprit. No?
Yeah, we're gonna circle it to being Yuruko.
What? Really?
If the Blackened dragged Mr. Kagurine with a rope up to the top of the bell tower, our 2 witnesses would have immediately followed afterwards in pursuit.
This is true. This
I
is what was
see.
done.
Because the only way down from the top of the tower is down the spiral staircase.
That's what you think.
Whether the culprit went down or Sora and Yuki went up, they would definitely bump into each other at some point somehow.
Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. We did get to the top of the bell tower, but Yoriko was the only one up there.
That means Yoriko's the culprit. What? Isn't it obvious? Like Emma said, the only way to climb up the tower is by using the stairs. And if you were there, you don't have a good excuse like Yuki and Sora, and you've been looking worried from the start. It's clear to everyone that Yoriko's the culprit. Don't you think so, sister? Huh? But, Kanade, we just said that Ruko's a witness. Sis, please just think for a moment. Yoriko doesn't have an alibi, and she has no reason to be in the bell tower if she's not related to the case.
Yeah, can we ask what she was doing there?
I guess. When you put it that way, Ruko does sound pretty suspicious.
Girly Pop, what were you doing there?
Wow, who are you calling suspicious?
Okay then, Yuko.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you tell us why you were at the bell tower?
Thank you, Setsuka.
You and Rara just told us that they were there because they got a message from Riri. Tell us why you were there, then we won't have a reason to doubt you.
I don't know. I don't know why I was there.
I would understand if she, like, got knocked out and taken there. But, like, they saw her carrying a rope there. Wait, who said they saw that? Shobai said that. So, either Shobai is lying, which makes him very suspicious. Or she's lying.
What? Are you kidding me right now?
Yoriko's situation sounds kind of complicated. I thought she was the culprit at first too, but after I heard her testimony, I'm not so sure that's right.
Yoriko, calm down and tell us your side of the story.
As I expected, looks like everyone's suspicious of Yoriko. We need to discuss this some more to find out if she's really the culprit or not. Yeah, okay. I don't know. I feel like Shinji.
I went outside as soon as
Shinji's
the
account.
Monocruise's door opened.
What did he say again? I was thinking of Shobai. Shinji waited for Hajime so he could go jogging. He saw Yuruko exit the Monocruise immediately after morning hours began. Okay.
So I could start my morning investigation before breakfast began. Then someone attacked me from behind, and I lost consciousness.
I believe this.
When I woke up, I was at the top of the bell tower next to Sora and Yuki.
I should just see what everyone says.
Do you have any proof? For example, someone who saw you leave early. What? No.
Wrong.
No one saw me.
No, that's wrong!
I have to do well in this trial if I want to earn my credit score to be good.
Actually, there was someone who saw Yoriko leave early this morning. Shinji, you said you saw her, right?
Me? Well, yeah, I definitely saw Yoriko leaving early this morning.
Why? This man is so suspicious, dog.
You guys sure do get up early, don't you? What were you guys doing?
Hajime and I go jogging every morning, you know? I woke up early, so I was waiting for him in the hallway. Hajime was late because he had to use the bathroom. And I saw Yoriko leaving as soon as the Monocruise door opened up.
It's like I said, I'm not lying.
However, while we've proven that you left the ship early, can we really be certain that it was for the sake of investigation?
What?
Doesn't that just make you even more suspicious? And the culprit who killed Mr. Kagurine definitely wasn't in the Monocruise this morning.
That's true, but...
So, does that mean Yoriko really is the culprit?
Wait a minute. Why is everyone accusing me when I haven't done anything?
You'd have to be like the dumbest culprit ever to kill someone and not have a way to escape. Like,
I told you. I don't know how or why I was there. I lost consciousness right after I left.
Assuming what Yoriko says is the truth, the culprit attacked her and moved her to the bell tower to pin the blame on her?
But then there's no explanation for how Yuri was pulled to the top.
I'm switching Hajime out with Shobai for my second suspect at the moment. I don't know. I don't really think it's Shobai quite yet. I think he's just being a shitter. But I mean, I suppose it's possible.
Maybe the culprit was hiding somewhere at the top of the tower?
No. We looked around for a bit, but it's an exposed area with almost no furniture around. It would be very difficult for someone to hide themselves up there.
If Yoriko can't explain herself, we have no choice but to assume she's the culprit. Yeah. Wait, that's not true. I'm not.
Don't jump to conclusions. Yoriko isn't lying.
This is
Coco.
true.
Listen to her voice. She's telling the truth.
I think this girl's too overpowered. I think she might be cooked next chapter. Like, the fact she's able to read everyone, this is making her, the death flags are high. She might be cooked chapter 2. I don't know. I'm getting very strong vibes of that from her.
I know you're a psychologist, Koro, but how can you be so sure?
The method you're using to deduce Yoruko's alleged culpability is far too short-sighted. We'll look at the bigger picture instead of focusing solely on her, such as why Yuri was killed, perhaps.
Why was Yuri killed?
Speaking of which, didn't Yuri lock himself in his room after telling the girls to kill him? It'd be awfully difficult to drag that guy out of his room.
Hardly. If he was serious, a girl would only need to knock, and Yuri would open his door.
I like how everyone's suspecting the girls, and I am only suspecting men.
Are you saying that the culprit is a girl? So, like, doesn't it all point to Ruko anyway? I'm telling you, it's not me!
Wait, everyone. If the culprit were a man, wouldn't that make the crime that much more ingenious? The obvious answer would be that the culprit is a woman, but if it was a man, they would be able to exclude themselves from the list of suspects for that reason.
It is Mitch all over again.
But Yuri's the kind of guy who hates even being spoken to by another guy.
As long as Yuri had locked himself in his room, a man would have never been able to lure him out.
Huh? According to what Emma said, a man could have been the culprit if Yuri hadn't been in his room. Yuri locked himself in his room for 2 days and left it for a single occasion. That occasion was the party. Yeah, let me just know the controls. You have to try and catch a thought that passes by your mind. You'll be shown the position of the words. They're showing me the answer! I mean, I knew the answer anyway, but like... which are important to remember. Find and match the same letters. Oh, so it's like a matching game. Okay, that's cute. Cards will initially be shown. Next, you must fill it in. Try to recall. Okay, cool. You will receive a penalty. If you're concerned the game is too difficult, the show cards will be shown again briefly. Your influence gauge. Okay, cool. Alright. A and Y. Okay. Okay. I got it.
I see.
Mind sharp. I like that. That's fun.
The party last night. Yuri was at that party, wasn't he? Didn't he?
Oh yeah, he was there.
So then if someone attacked Yuri right after the party ended, it could have easily been a man.
Yes, that's true.
You're taking that into account now? Quick-witted bunch, aren't you?
You asshole! You're not even participating in the discussion!
What? Do you want me to help? That'll be a million crows. I'll figure this all out for you then.
6, almost 7 grand.
Shut up, you Scrooge!
If Sora's right, a man really could have attacked Yuri. But that's no reason to rule out a girl as a culprit.
We're not ruling out girls, but...
Of course. She said that the culprit could be a man, not that they couldn't be a woman. For a man like Mr. Kagurine, the idea of him giving up his life to a woman that approached him during the festivities is all too plausible.
Yeah, but I'm curious about something. The party was last night, right? Yuri died this morning.
This is true.
If the culprit attacked Yuri after the party, wouldn't that mean the culprit was inside the Mono Cruise during nighttime? The Mono Cruise doors lock after 10 p.m.
Okay, this is a fair point.
Yeah. If the party was last night and the murder happened this morning, there's a huge gap of time missing between them.
So the question is, if a man really did attack Riri after the party, what was he doing until morning?
This is a fair question.
But didn't all the people who were drinking late into the night return to the Mono Cruise before 10 p.m.?
That's, I can't really remember.
Probably.
I was the only sober one there.
Oh no, you weren't. Someone else was faking.
Although, Yuri was late. He told me he'd be stopping by the bathroom.
I get it! That was when somebody kidnapped Rin then!
No, that doesn't make sense, because the murder happened at the bell tower just after the morning announcement. The culprit would have been locked inside the monocruise. They wouldn't have had any time to prepare for the murder.
You're assuming things again. There's no rule that says you have to stay inside the monocruise during nighttime.
What?
So I
About the
guess
rules?
if that's the case, they didn't go back. They just holed up in the bell tower. You just aren't supposed to wander because quote-unquote monsters, whatever that means, could get you. So you would just have to essentially hide or play defense.
State that the monocruise doors close at 10 p.m.
You didn't have to sleep.
And that sleeping outside the dorms is not allowed.
Pull an all-nighter.
That's all. If the culprit never boarded the monocruise, they would be free to wander the island after the door was locked. If they stayed up all night, they wouldn't be breaking any rules.
Being outside the monocruise at night isn't a rule violation? Is that true?
Yep, you just gotta be alive and pull an all-nighter.
Yes, I've done it before.
Oop.
I wondered what would happen if I slept during the day and stayed out all night outside. And nothing happened. The doors opened in the morning, and I was able to board the monocruise as usual.
But didn't Monocro say that monsters would be wandering the island at night? You still could have been injured, Coco.
I was fine. I stayed on the main roads and never ran into any sort of monster. Although I do wonder if something may be hidden in the forest.
If Kokoro is telling the truth, it's possible that Yuri never re-entered the monocruise last night. According to Yoriko, he did return, just much later than everyone else. But isn't it possible that he was attacked and then placed in the bell tower until this morning?
According to that theory, the culprit is one of the people who were drinking late into the night.
Oh, it was 1000% one of those people.
What do you think, Yoriko? You're one of the people who stayed behind, aren't you? Well, that's true. But it wasn't me. I got back to the monocruise with everyone else.
About that. None of us were exactly sober, so we don't really remember that. Sorry, Yuko.
I don't know. I've never experienced memory loss from drinking. I know it's something that happens to people. It's just never happened to me.
What?
They were all drunk as skunks.
Indeed. And none of them can recall a thing. Speaking of which, I don't recall seeing any alcohol during the preparations for the party.
Someone must have snuck it in.
Oh, you're right.
And yet, there was alcohol abound in the beverages by the time the party started. I believe this is no mere coincidence.
Are you saying that the culprit put alcohol in the drinks in order to get everyone drunk and fog up their memories?
Precisely, that's why they drank water.
Wait, isn't it possible that someone impulsively committed a murder because they were under the influence at the time?
No. You can tell by looking at the crime scene that someone put a great deal of thought into this murder. It doesn't fit an intoxicated cover-up.
If the culprit brought the alcohol, doesn't that mean they helped organize the party?
Not necessarily.
Who are the ones organizing the party?
You, Ra-Ra, Mac, Yuko, Mikado, and myself. Just the 6 of us.
Yoriko is nothing but suspicious.
So the culprit's someone that helped with the party and stayed out last night.
I'm not convinced they helped with the party. Maybe... I forget. Okay, I know they just said it, but they use nicknames.
And they would have to be sober. That's what you're saying?
Hey, wait a second. The only person who wasn't drinking last night was Yoriko.
Wrong.
She said she'd be chaperoning Dry, since we had to get back by 10 p.m.
No, I mean, that's true, but...
That's...
The evidence all lines up.
Yoriko,
Scrum debate.
Can you explain
No,
what
I'm
happened
kidding.
in more detail?
But like...
We just want
Come
to
on,
believe
girl.
you.
You're not listening to me.
Oh, rebuttal.
Aren't you taking this a little too far? Look, I'm innocent. To be accused as the culprit because of a series of coincidences, I can still defend myself, you know? Listen to me before you start talking.
Yeah, I just want to know the control. Ooh, okay, this is different. Shoot down the argument. Use the arrow keys to move lanes. S to shoot. Truth arrows. Shift S to equip the arrow on the bow. Once you equip, the bow will turn red. What? Oh lord, okay. Eesh, this kind of seems... Okay. If it is someone who planned the party, then Hajime's back on the suspect list, but...
I know I have to accede to your unjust accusations, but if I'm really the culprit, do you really think that I'd go about it this way? Like you said, Yuri would have done anything for a woman, even die for her. There's no reason for me to wait until the party to kill him in such a complicated manner.
Okay.
The culprit may have waited until the party because of their plan involving the alcohol. Like we said before, they used it to dull everyone's memories so they could easily get away with their plan. The fact that Yuri attended the party in itself could indicate that he was working with the culprit.
So you're just saying that I would do something as stupid as intentionally going to the party?
This is tough.
If I was the culprit, I wouldn't go about it that way. If you two weren't at the tower with me, you wouldn't be suspecting me. Is that how it is? Just because of that, you're suspecting me. It's completely unfair.
Okay, it's not just because of that. Yeah, okay.
I know I have to accede to your unjust accusations.
Oh, I have to
but
start
if
here?
I'm really the culprit, do you really think that I'd go about it this way?
No.
Like you said, Yuri would have done anything for a woman.
It's a
even
little
die for her.
finicky with the arrows. Like there's
no
a
reason for me to
short
wait until the
cooldown.
party
I
to
can't
kill him in such
spam.
a complicated manner.
The culprit may have waited until the party because of their plan involving the alcohol. Like we said before, they used it to dull everyone's memories so they could easily get away with their plan. The fact that Yuri attended the party in itself could indicate that he was working with the culprit.
So you're just saying that I would do something as stupid as intentionally going to the party? If I was the culprit, I wouldn't go about it that way. If you two weren't at the tower with me, you wouldn't be suspecting me. Is that how it is? Just because of that, you're just...
I'll pierce through those words.
I got it. Locked and loaded.
It's not just that, Yoriko. Shobai told me that he saw you going to the bell tower this morning.
What?
He also said you were holding a long rope in your hand.
A rope? The same rope that Rinrin was tied up with?
Shobai, you were telling the truth, right?
Allegedly.
Huh? I was. At the time, I didn't know that woman would be so important to the case. I was wondering what she was planning to do with something like that. Now that I think about it, that was a really important piece of evidence.
Wait, he's lying! Shobai isn't telling the truth!
I am more inclined to believe Yoruko than
He really was
Shobai.
attacked by someone as soon as I left the Mono Cruise. He's trying to slander me. He's the culprit.
I don't know if he's the culprit, though.
Even if you say that...
He could just be fucking with us.
Yeah, all the evidence is stacked against you.
It's almost undeniable. Or maybe you're just an idiot, Yoriko.
What? Why are you all accusing me? Why me?
Mr. Hashimoto's testimony is the most damning thing here. How do you plan to defend yourself against that?
Yuko, are you really the culprit?
Wait, Shobai really is lying.
I knew we had a rat.
What?
Sora, did Shobai mention when he saw Yoriko leave?
That's... Yoriko left right after the morning announcement, so wouldn't that be around 7 a.m.?
I was on the second floor of the library at the time.
Me when I lie.
And I saw Shobai climbing the stairs from the second to the third floor.
Who?
Shobai. Even if you did see Yoriko leave...
I don't think he's the
unless
culprit,
you knew
though.
her
I think
destination
he's just being a
beforehand,
shitter.
You'd have trouble figuring out she was headed for the bell tower.
I still think it's either Shinji or Hajime.
And didn't you say you saw Yoroku holding a rope?
Shobai, were you lying to me?
Ha! So you got me out. Sorry about that, but I wanted to test you all.
Test us?
Like I said, if you clear the class trial for me, I'm good.
Then why are you making it harder, dipshit?
I was testing whether you could really do it without my interference.
You did interfere! You interfered in a negative way!
What? You gotta be joking!
Just a little bit of perjury, really. I didn't think the psychologist would realize. Well, whatever. I'm counting this as a win.
Asshole! What the hell are you doing?
Settle down, Mr. Kasai. Violence is against the school rules.
I'm so convinced it's one of the two guys, because Shinji is being, like, super suspicious, but he also might be covering for Hajime a little bit. Like, he doesn't want to suspect his bro. It could be like a Takamondo situation.
Calm down, Shin. You can beat him up after we get out of here.
That proves my innocence, right? Shobai's the one who lied. He's even more suspicious than I am.
I don't know. His testimony might be false, but you're still the most likely suspect.
But we're being cruel to Yoriko, aren't we? We should talk about this some more.
Is she British? I can't tell.
No, Ruko's definitely the killer.
I don't want to suspect my friends. I want to believe everyone instead.
Well, this is rather complicated, isn't it? We seem to be split right down the middle.
Split, you say? Scrum debate!
If that's the case,
Oh,
let's decide
shit.
with a proper debate.
Are we actually doing a Wait, didn't this come out before V3? When did this... Maybe it didn't. It must have come out after, if they'd have Scrum debates.
Please remain calm as your seats are rearranged.
Whether Yoruko's the killer or not, we'll have to discuss this some more. Let's try our best to convince everyone. Yeah, I just want to know that it is a Scrum debate! Hey! Team Solar. Ooh, I like that. Members of the opposing team will take turns presenting arguments. They'll not each has a keyword. Okay. Okay, it's just Scrum debate. And then I'll have to press buttons. Who's on the wrong team could also narrow down our suspect pool a little bit. Oh, Shinji's on Team Lunar though. That doesn't look good for Hajime. Hajime's kinda sus. Yuki, even you? I love this track. Banger.
Yoriko is the only one that went to the party and fits all of the criteria.
This one's mine. We still need to figure out if the party is even relevant to the case.
Knowing Yuri, the killer has to be a woman.
Emma! We've already established that the murder could have been committed by either a man or a woman.
Ruko's the only one with a super suspicious alibi.
Yoriko! Kokoro and Shobai don't even have alibis. Why are you accusing me?
But, Yoriko, weren't you the only one who handled the food at the party?
Kokodo!
Boss, Yoriko was not the only one who handled the food at the party.
This is so cool.
She could have taken advantage of the fact that we were drunk to forge her alibi.
Shinji.
Yoroku wasn't the only one who wasn't drunk. So shouldn't we suspect the others too?
Yoriko is our only suspect, so there's nothing else we can do.
Setsuka, we haven't even talked about the possibility of another suspect besides Yuko.
Button pressing. Z? Oh, X. Z. S? X. I'm so bad at buttons, dog. A. Z. S. A. It changes so quick. Okay, we got there.
This is our answer.
Okay, so after doing that, I have switched Shinji and Hajime. I'm locking in Hajime. I don't think Shinji would be on our side of the Scrum debate if he was the culprit. As much as I hate to say that.
It seems that a conclusion has continued to evade us.
At any rate, it's wrong to conclude that Yoriko's the killer when there's still so many unanswered questions. We need to discuss this some more.
Sora.
Okay. I don't want to doubt my friends any longer either. Let's drop the subject of the culprit and discuss some other things first.
Wait, so we're back to square one?
Good thinking. Unlike a regular trial, a single misstep will result in tragedy. We need to keep discussing this until we reach a decisive conclusion.
I mean, Kokoro, don't you know who the culprit is? Can't you just tell us so we can call it a day?
You all currently believe Yoriko is the culprit. Would you even be able to accept it if I named someone else?
So you don't believe Miss Kabuya is the culprit?
Alright, so instead of who they are, let's talk about how the culprit did it.
How they did it?
We're not sure whether the culprit attacked Riri this morning or after the party. Did you forget what the culprit did before they killed Riri?
Before killing Yuri. She's talking about the object that was attached to Yuri's body? The hook in his calf? Yeah.
Got it.
Are you talking about the hook that was embedded in Yuri's calf?
That had to have hurt, man.
Yeah, you said it was already embedded when you first saw him, right? Even if Riri was drunk, he wouldn't have just stayed still while the culprit stuck that thing into his leg. They would have had to restrain him by any means possible.
Is that what, did they tie him up with the wire? That's painful.
So you're saying we should discuss how the culprit went about doing that?
The culprit restrained Yuri. Alright. Probably the wire. Oh, or the anesthetic, I guess. They could have used it on both of them, I suppose. That would make a little more sense.
We might have all been plastered, but Riri wouldn't have just stayed still while someone stuck a hook into him.
Maybe they stunned him by hitting him with a blunt weapon?
This is untrue.
No, they wouldn't risk Yuri dying right there.
Oh, you speak for
Regardless,
once.
it's certain that the culprit did something to immobilize Yuri's body.
They did.
Perhaps he was so drunk that he passed out. Wait, no, that's dumb. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
so it was the blunt object. Cool, cool, cool.
We might have all been plastered, but Riri wouldn't have just...
Maybe they stunned him by hitting him with a blunt weapon?
No, that's wrong!
Bada bing, bada boom. I gotta get a good grade. I need my credit score.
I have evidence that the culprit didn't use such a straightforward method, Hibiki. We found traces of an anesthetic solution on the floor of the bell tower.
Anesthetic solution?
Kanade told me that it's similar to the kind used in the operating room during major surgeries.
Yes, you can get some from the infirmary.
Its presence at the bell tower leaves no doubt that the culprit used the anesthetic to subdue Mr. Kagurine.
Wait, do you think that's the same thing the culprit used when they attacked me?
Yes,
Maybe.
exactly.
But that's besides the point, Yoriko, so be quiet.
Girl, no, that's useful.
Fine.
And there's one more thing I know about the anesthetic.
Timing? Huh? I mean, we found it at the scene of the crime, I guess? No?
Crap.
What? The other thing I learned about the end. Oh, maybe. Didn't she say. She could say some. Maybe it's this one.
Got it.
Okay.
Kanade went to the infirmary after finding the anesthetic, and she discovered that a single syringe had disappeared.
A syringe?
Yes. You can use that particular syringe to conveniently calculate the sedation time using the scale on the barrel.
How convenient.
That's great and all, but how do you know all this?
I watch a lot of medical dramas. Is there a problem?
Grey's Anatomy, House, Scrubs. Which are we talking about, Kanade? Your answer will change my opinion of you.
I'm not saying there's a problem, but...
No one found a syringe or anything like that while investigating, right? That means...
The culprit still has the syringe with them.
Should we frisk everyone here?
I mean, we can't determine... Wait. Okay, big conspiracy theory. What if Hajime disposed of the syringe in the bathroom, and that's why he was late, because he was like flushing it or dumping it in the trash?
I doubt they'd be idiotic enough to have it on their person, but we can be sure that they hid it somewhere.
If they used a syringe with an anesthetic solution, they could subdue Yuri even if he wasn't drunk.
There's one thing that's really bothering me. When Sora and I last saw Yuri, he seemed convinced a woman was trying to take his life, saying things like, "Not everyone gets to be killed by a cute classmate," and "Being born a man and achieving my dream."
That means he didn't see the culprit, I guess.
He said that as he was about to die? Eek!
So if he said that, does that make the culprit a woman after all?
The thing that's bothering me is that Yuri told all of us that he would cooperate with the female culprit, but they restrained him and waited until he was drunk. If the culprit was a female, that wouldn't be necessary.
Yuki's cooking.
That's what I've been saying since the beginning.
Yeah, that's true. It'd just create more evidence, right?
Let's review. Assuming the culprit is male, he would only be able to target Yuri after yesterday's party. We still have no idea what happened before nighttime, though. Assuming the culprit is female, she would be able to get to Yuri at any time inside the monocruise. However, she wouldn't have had enough time to prepare for the crime in the morning. Like the other scenario, we still have no idea what happened before nighttime.
About what happened before nighttime. Doesn't it seem possible that the culprit's preparations took place during that time?
What?
Like Kokoro said, anyone can stay outside the monocruise at night using the loophole in the rules. We can't explain how the culprit prepared for their crime during the short time frame in the morning, so we can just assume by default that it took place at night.
That's almost 9 hours. Would it really take them that long to prepare for the murder?
I'm not sure. They just need to prepare the hooks, the rope, the anesthetic, the wires, and... that's all, I think.
Wait. None of you can possibly think that the culprit simply dragged Yuri up with just a rope, do you?
Huh?
I did think something was amiss when you began accusing Yotoko.
Did we use... I think they used the bell as like a pulley.
You've been mistaken from the beginning.
What are you talking about?
The culprit didn't just drop Yuri to his death after dragging him up from the bell tower.
Then, what else did they do?
Oh, I see. It was so obvious.
If I was right about
missed it.
this pulley conspiracy
hindsight, it's
thing,
clear.
then that was such a good read.
Think. Yuri was short, but it's physically impossible for anyone to drag him hundreds of feet out to the bell tower. I doubt even Shinji could do it.
Really? If you used a lever of sorts, it might be possible.
Because the ringing was his body hitting the top of the bell.
Yes, it's possible. However, we were wrong in our initial assumption that the culprit was the one who pulled Yuri up.
Our initial assumption was wrong?
So what? What's the problem?
Culprit didn't pull Yuri up. They moved Yuri using another method? What method did they use? I've definitely seen something that can solve this.
Remedy the situation.
Did that say consent?
Somebody's explanation is correct. Think, Sora. You've seen the evidence too. I can remind you if you don't remember.
Logic refresh. Okay, I don't think I know this one, so... Someone who supports your argument will give you hints to help you out. Avoid their words in white and collect the blue truth bullets. All 3 shields. Okay. There are 5 lines, and you can move up and down. Your supporter will say their argument, and you want to avoid contact with the white statement. You will suffer damage when the midpoint passes through your vertical line on the right. On the other hand, blue truth bullets will appear. They can be collected when their midpoint passes through the judgment line and will be shown. You will proceed. Okay. You must then choose the most appropriate truth bullet. If you choose the correct bullet, your support will fire a truth bullet and you clear the game with a cut-in. Okay, I'm kind of gonna wing this, but... Where am I?
Yuri
Okay.
was dragged to the top of the tower at great speed.
Okay.
This is an impossible feat for a regular person to accomplish.
Okay.
How was the culprit able to achieve this?
Go.
The speed in which Yuri was dragged up indicates something was pulling him down from the other side.
This is cool.
Don't you think?
Okay, I'm getting there.
And you didn't find anyone on the top of the bell tower. So therefore, you can figure this out for yourself, can't you?
Okay. Probably the life jacket?
I agree with that.
Yeah. Alright, cool beans. I like that. I like that's an original minigame, and it's good. Rousing applause from me.
It's possible that Yuri wasn't dragged up by the culprit. It's more logical to think that he was pulled up in reaction to something else.
The culprit jump. Oh, I had such a good read. Oh, I clocked that immediately.
What are you talking about?
There was a hook stuck in Yuri's calf, which was attached to a long rope. We thought that someone pulled Yuri up by that rope, but if you think about it, it's physically impossible for someone to do that on their own.
Huh? Are you sure?
Furthermore, I discovered something with Setsuka earlier.
Oh, you're talking about the life jacket, aren't you?
Yes, someone had left it hidden outside of the bell tower. We found the same kind of hook that was stuck in Yuri's calf embedded into the life jacket, and that hook was attached to a rope. However, the end was cut off.
So, what does that mean?
Oh, so in other words, Yuri was connected to the life jacket by the hooked ends of the rope. If the culprit jumped down from the bell tower while wearing the life jacket, Yuri would be pulled by the other end.
Hell yeah.
For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction.
Okay, Isaac Newton.
Exactly. That's what the culprit did. Wait, I don't get it. So why was Ruko at the top of the bell tower?
Well,
Culprit brought her up
according to
there.
Yuriko, she was attacked and found herself unconscious, and then awoke at the top of the bell tower. When Yuki and I met Yuri on the first floor, the culprit must have been waiting for us at the top of the bell tower, along with the unconscious Yuriko.
That explains why Miss Kaguya was the only one there when Miss Sora and Mr. Maeda arrived. She was a red herring. The real culprit couldn't have been there. After all, they were already outside the bell tower when Mr. Kagurine was pulled up.
I mean, hard read. If I'm right about the culprit too, I had
makes
this one
sense
on
in
lock.
theory, but I don't think he'd be able to be pulled up so easily.
Why not?
There's tons of other factors involved, like friction and whatnot.
Okay, scientist.
Sora, do you remember the bell ringing as Yuri was being pulled up?
Yes, and now I think I know why.
The scuff marks.
Got it! The culprit
still
threaded
not-
the rope through the hanging bell and used it as a fulcrum.
I'm still not convinced why the wire, or not, I'm still not sure why wire was used, but
I
that's
can't
kind of
draw
the
that
only
well,
thing I
but
don't know.
I'll draw you a picture to illustrate. Iroha, may I borrow your sketchbook?
Yep. Whee!
This is how the culprit did it. As you all know, the hole in the top of the bell is very small enough that the hook can't pass through it. I suspect that the culprit attached the hooks after first threading the rope through the hole.
That's really high up. How is that even possible? Oh, well, I get it, but Sora, your drawings could use some improvement.
Not the time, Iroha.
Wait, how did the culprit adjust the length of the rope? It sounds simple in theory, but they could have easily fallen to their death if they'd miscalculated.
Maybe did they use the wire to cut the rope?
I believe they practiced it beforehand.
Or that as well, but...
If you look at the marks on the bell, they don't look shallow enough to have been made by a single attempt.
Are you proposing that the culprit practiced this act many times before committing the actual crime?
Yeah.
Yes. The hooks that were connected to Yuri couldn't have passed through the hole in the bell, so the culprit wouldn't fall. The marks on the bell are probably from the friction caused by the rope, and also from the metal hooks scraping against the bell. After the culprit used the correct rope length to reach the surface, they could cut the end of the rope attached to the life jacket, and Yuri would fall to the ground due to the shifting weight and balance. This is the truth of the crime scene that Yuki and I witnessed.
Yippee! Wahoo! Wait a moment. Even if the culprit accounted for the length of the rope, the bell tower is far too tall. If they fell while hanging from just a life jacket with a hook, the force from the landing would dislocate their shoulders.
This is true. I did think about that. But I was also kind of like, it's Danganronpa. Maybe they just didn't really account for that. Oh, something to cushion the impact. Is that why they used a life jacket? But I don't think that would be enough to cushion the impact. I guess it would be. If that's no? Okay. Shoot. That object. Oh. Is that okay. They used the wires to make each drop smaller, I guess. Like you could do it in intervals. Is that what we're doing? Okay. Sure.
Earlier,
yeah.
Emma was wondering why the culprit would go through all the trouble of setting up those wires. The answer to Kanadi's question is probably the broken wires.
The broken wires?
Yuri was cut by the wires as he was dragged up at a high speed. The resulting friction in the process may have had the effect of cushioning the impact.
Now I get it. The wires weren't meant to kill Yuri, but rather to lessen the impact of the fall. This explains why the culprit went through the tedious work of setting up those wires.
And that answers the last question I had about the scene. Yippee!
Without a doubt. There's something bothering me. If the wires were sharp enough to slice through flesh, why didn't they cut the rope?
Like the world-famous mobile game.
If it really was that sharp, it should have cut the rope attached to Yuri too.
I think the rope was pretty thick. Didn't they make like a mention of that?
That rope was made from special materials.
Yeah.
It's a tough one from the mart that won't break unless you carefully cut through its padding.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool, so I took note of it. I didn't expect it to be used in a murder, though.
So, Ruko's not the culprit?
That's what I've been telling you from the start. I'm a victim here too.
That's too bad.
What? What do you mean that's too bad?
Now we have to suspect everyone besides you as the culprit. How are we supposed to narrow it down to the culprit now?
Well, if we are going under the assertion that it had to be someone who was drunk and who set up the party, that narrows it down significantly. Because isn't it just Setsuka and... Who was overlapping in that group? It would be Setsuka and Hajime were the only ones who fit both of that criteria, other than Yoruko, if memory serves me correctly. And if we establish that it couldn't have been a woman, then that only leaves Hajime.
I see. So we're back at the start?
Not really. We did learn something from the previous discussion. The culprit should have been outside the monocruise during nighttime after they kidnapped Yuri.
Huh? How do you know that?
And that's
Think
why
about
he
it.
was late,
If the
yeah.
culprit was able to do test runs to adjust the rope's length exactly as they needed.
I had that read so good. I said it during the investigation when Shinji was like, I don't know, Hajime showed up a little late. I was like, what was he doing?
Then they must have had enough time to do so. Being outside during nighttime with no one else but Yuri gives the culprit plenty of time to run trials without anyone finding out.
Good point. Someone surely would have noticed the culprit if he was doing trial runs during daytime.
Furthermore, there was a prevailing misconception that no one could exit the monocruise during nighttime. I'm sure the culprit thought there would be a good time to test their plan.
Yeah, I'm surprised that we still held that belief until now when people like Kokoro already knew that wasn't the case.
Well, I just stayed up all night once.
Based on the previous discussion, we can infer that the culprit is a man.
Yeah, oh, Hajime's cooked. Hajime's cooked.
As we already know, a woman would have no reason to use such difficult methods.
It's true that Mr. Kagurine's death would be automatically attributed to a woman due to his previous outburst. So, should a man have committed the crime, the very act of murder itself would become his alibi. A rather clever ploy, I must admit.
So now that we know that, we can just narrow it down from all the guys here, right?
Not only all the guys who were drunk and all the guys who set up the party. Only one of whom, I think, unless I'm misremembering, fits that criteria.
In that case, we already know the culprit. It's either Mikado or Shobai.
Wrong.
Shobai doesn't have an alibi, and Mikado's the mastermind.
Please do not forget my sincere wish for a class trial free of prejudice.
He wasn't drunk.
It should be unquestionably clear that I am giving it my all to unveil the truth.
We were also working him like a dog all night, so... Brother.
Huh? Shobai, were you asleep this whole time?
Still not over.
You must be crazy. Our lives are at stake right now, and you just dozed off?
I think we've long established he's crazy.
Hey, you've got all you need. I know the whole story, but you guys don't need my help to figure it out. I haven't been getting a lot of sleep lately. Wake me up when it's over.
He's insane!
Anyways, Shobai or Mikado being the culprit seems unlikely, big bro. The culprit must have stayed late at the party last night to kidnap Yuri. But neither Mikado or Shobai were included in that group.
But you know, can't Mikado use magic? You've seen him flying around like nothing. Kidnapping Yuri with those abilities would be a piece of cake!
Wrong.
Nox's second law. All supernatural and preternatural agencies are ruled out as a matter of course.
You're really pulling Nox on us?
What the heck is that?
An absolute code of logic in detective fiction that cannot be violated.
It's Danganronpa. Kodaka, goes out of his way to break Nox's laws.
It forbids supernatural or unrealistic phenomena from interfering with murders.
Oh, I know that! Isn't it from Umineko when they cry?
Oh, I guess we're just, coming out with that reference. I haven't actually played that, but...
I give you my most sincere, emphatic vow that I do not use my magic for matters relating to murder cases.
I'm not sure I get it, but how can you be so sure? Do you really think we'd ever believe the word of the mastermind?
It seems I am left with little choice. Monaco, I humbly request that you add a new rule. Mikado Sanoji cannot use magic for any purpose relating to a murder case.
Are you sure about that rule?
Absolutely. I've already resolved to seal my magic, and its very existence seems to be a hindrance to the natural progression of this trial. I wish to use this opportunity to clarify my position within this killing game.
He's so interesting. I love this character.
Very well. The regulations will be updated once the trial is over. Mikado Sanoji cannot use magic for any purpose relating to a murder case. As a reminder, the penalty will be execution should you fail to comply.
I understand completely. You have my deepest gratitude.
So, Mikado can't be the culprit.
Why are you trying to make this problem harder than it is?
Ooh.
The answer is already out. There's a suspicious individual who satisfies every condition.
We're gonna accuse Hajime.
Huh? You spoke about the conditions to be the culprit beforehand. Think it over. The individual you referred to is in plain sight.
Man, I figured this out like 40 minutes ago.
The conditions that we brought up were...
The culprit was among those who stayed late at yesterday's party.
Uh-huh.
The culprit was also part of the group that prepared the party.
Uh-huh, and it's a man.
Additionally, we figured out that the culprit is a man while discussing the Life Fest and the murder rehearsals.
Yep. Setsuka, Hajime, Shinji, Yuri, Emma, and Yuruko. Setsuka, Hajime, Yuki, Mikado, Yuruko, and myself. Yep, Alright, I'm two for two.
It can only be you.
This is
Was it
okay.
you?
I have no real attachment to Hajime, unfortunately.
Hajime Makanouchi.
Intermission? Alright, break time. Alright. We'll take our break real quick. Oops. Y'all know the drill. Get a drink, fill your waters, do whatever you need to do, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. Alright, welcome back, everybody. Let's go ahead. And I think we can just go ahead and resume the trial. Yes. Bum, bada, bum, bum.
Was it you, Hajime?
What? Wait a minute, Sora! You think Hajime's the culprit?
Yeah, he was just covering.
There's
Not,
nobody
I don't
aside
think he
from
was
Hajime
covering in the
meets
sense
all
that
the
he knew.
conditions to be the culprit.
I think he might have just suspected and been overcompensating.
He helped prepare the party and stayed late to drink with Yuri. He's the only one who was in both groups, and is a man as well.
Precisely. I have been suspecting Hajime since the beginning.
How'd you know right off the bat?
You will remember my question at the start of the investigation. I asked, how do you feel about this murder?
Ah, yes. But how is that relevant?
I can figure out whether a person is lying or not just by hearing them
She's
talk.
cooked. Oh, she's so dead next chapter. Like, she's way too overpowered. She's either gonna be the killer or she's gonna get killed. I think it's more likely she's the victim, but...
What? So you knew Hajime was the culprit just from that one question?
Miss Mitsume, that sounds like an even more magical ability than my own spells.
I cannot be completely sure of my deduction, naturally. But were I to narrow down my suspects, however, I can figure out the answer by simply comparing the evidence to each suspect. From that, my deduction is that the culprit is Hajime Makunochi.
Then Yuri's murderer, the person that attacked me, it was all him?
I'm interested to find out motive, because that's just has not been addressed at all. Like, we don't even have an in-game motive.
Hey, hold on a damn second. Why am I the culprit all of a sudden?
He must just really want to go home.
Don't you remember? I may fit the bill, but that doesn't change the fact that I was drunk.
No, you weren't.
The only person who wasn't drunk was Yoruko. Don't tell me you all forgot about that.
Show us the water bottle.
Yeah, that's true, but...
Yoruko was the only sober person at the party, and even she agrees I was drunk. How could I possibly have killed Yuri? You all said the culprit made serious preparations. Stuff like trial runs. Wouldn't that be impossible to do if you're drunk? Are you guys really accusing me as the culprit? Just because I fit your little conditions? Because if you are, I'm about to get really mad.
No. If we assume that Hajime's the culprit, every puzzle piece fits right into place. Suppose we discuss how those pieces fit as our next discussion. I think instead of calling it non-stop debate another, they should have called it another non-stop debate.
The culprit couldn't have planned out their crimes while drunk. So they must have been someone who didn't consume alcohol.
This is true.
Right! There's no way.
Yeah,
Hajime's
this
the
is
culprit.
another Mondo Taka
Shinji.
thing.
Please make judgments based on logic, not your friendship. There's plenty of reasons why Hajime is suspicious.
No matter how suspicious I am, I couldn't have done anything while I was drunk. Ask Yoruko and check yourself.
What Hajime just said is true. Including Hajime, everyone who stayed to enjoy the party last night were completely drunk.
Nope.
No, that's wrong!
Me when I'm wrong. My credit score is gonna be so good!
Everyone was completely drunk last night? I'm not so sure about that.
What are you saying?
I found these liquor bottles in the guest house, and some of them were filled with water.
Water?
At first, I thought it was mixed in during the whole mess of alcohol being brought to the party, but now that I think about it, it's possible that the culprit was just pretending to be drunk and drank water instead.
Wait a minute. I don't remember much because of my foggy memory, but are you saying that someone was just acting as if they were drunk?
If Hajime was acting drunk during the party, he knew we would cross him off the suspect list. There's more to it than just that.
If I'm on the right track here, something I heard earlier should further condemn Hajime. That something is... Didn't Shinji say he was late, or is that in his... Yeah. well, Shinji waited for- yeah, it's this. No?
Crap.
Okay. Yuri went to the bathroom. Maybe this?
Got it.
Okay.
Yoriko, do you remember what you told me earlier? You said Yuri left to go to the washroom before you all went back to the monocruise.
Yes, I did.
Didn't you also say that someone else left with Yuri at that time? You said you couldn't remember who that someone was, but do you think that person could have been Hajime?
Huh? Give me a second to think. Well,
Wait, I think I remember. That person told us to go ahead while he took Riri to the washroom. They told us they'd follow us back right after. They had blonde hair and bulky muscles. It was Mac!
Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs.
Yes, I believe it was. I wasn't paying much attention back then because I was under the influence. The thought that a murder would occur had hardly crossed my mind that night.
You both remember? Jeez, why can't I remember?
Even the drunk people remember what happened. Why couldn't you, Yoriko? Because your brain has more air bubbles than last night's booze.
Dang!
I can't take note of everything while I'm completely absorbed in taking care of drunk people.
She was just busy.
Why
Hop
are you
off
being
my
so harsh
goat.
with me?
Yeah.
Because your bad memory frustrates me.
Girl, you were plastered too. Shut up.
Had you remembered, we could have pinned down the culprit much faster than we did. But thanks to the testimonies from the others, I think we have got the culprit set in stone. Yuri must have been completely drunk. He couldn't even walk on his own. In fact, wouldn't he nearly be out cold, considering the fact that he didn't refuse help from a man like Hajime?
So Hajime lied about Yuri going to the washroom and left off with him, then never came back to the mono cruise.
Uh-oh.
Considering Hajime as the culprit allows everything we've talked about so far to make perfect sense. Hajime, did you really murder Yuri?
I'll extinguish ya!
No.
Wait! Sora, please! Hajime's the culprit? That can't be right!
Who's had rebuttal showdowns? I have to think. It's been Yoruko and Shinji. Shinji, that's a death flag.
Hajime has an alibi, please! Let me explain.
Oh, buddy. Oh, this isn't fun. This is just chapter 2 all over again of Trigger Happy
Fighting
Havoc.
with words isn't my thing, but I'll have to do it to fight you, Sora. I have to do it for my friend.
Aw, that's not fun. Spiral staircase, stab wound, anesthetic. Okay, I'm not quite sure.
Hajime and I go jogging every morning. That's our routine right after waking up. As always, I was waiting for him this morning.
You
Like
were.
I said, while I was waiting, I saw Yoroku leaving the mono cruise. Hajime did arrive a little bit later than usual, but committing murder in that small gap is impossible. He's a cool guy, and when the man's gotta go, he's gotta go. You can't blame him for that.
Shinji, don't you think the fact that he arrived late itself rouses suspicion? Hajime is pretty strict about time as far as I know. Even if what you said
It
is
would
true,
probably be the spiral
something about his
staircase. They
actions
said
are
it
strange.
takes 5 minutes. Well,
Yes.
no. I gotta see what else he says.
When the discovery announcement was made, Hajime was with us at the dining hall. Hajime committed the murder at the bell tower. He wouldn't have returned in time to meet with us in the dining hall.
Okay. What are my bullets?
Hajime and I go jogging
shit.
every morning.
No.
That's our routine right after waking up. As always, I was waiting for him this morning. Like I said,
I can't manage all
while I
this.
was waiting, I saw Yoroku leaving the mono cruise. Hajime did arrive a little bit later than usual, but committing murder in that small gap is impossible. He's a cool guy, and when a man's gotta go, he's gotta go. You can't blame him for that.
Shinji, don't you think the fact that he arrived late itself rouses suspicion? Hajime is pretty strict about time as far as I know. Even if what you said is true, something about his actions are strange.
I don't know if this doesn't feel right.
Yes, certainly strange. But when the discovery announcement was made, Hajime was with us at the dining hall. Hajime committed the murder at the bell tower. He wouldn't have returned in time to...
I'll pierce through those words.
No, my credit score. It's okay, we're still above the 90s.
Sorry, Shinji. Hajime actually could have easily made it back in time.
Because he just jumped, like he didn't have to do the stairs.
The body discovery announcement was made sometime after Yuri's death.
What?
Of course. The announcement is only made when 3 or more people discover the body. There was no announcement when Sora and I saw Yuri's corpse. Monoko announced the discovery only after we ran to the top and met Yoriko, and she also saw the body.
So, did it go something like this? The culprit had extra time to move around while Sora and Yuki climbed up the stairs.
As everyone who used the stairs during the investigation knows, it takes at least 5 minutes to get to the top. Of course, the culprit was able to quickly get down safely by jumping off the tower using his fulcrum mechanism. This is a small island. If you run fast enough from the bell tower to the Mona Cruise, wouldn't it be possible to meet with everyone else at the dining hall before the announcement?
Then...
Wait, but didn't Shinji say he went jogging with Hajime? Yuri died at 7:30 a.m. If they went jogging together right after the morning announcement, how did Hajime kill Yuri?
Shinji and I briefly parted ways while jogging.
Why would you admit that?
But that was just to get your crow card that you left at the guest house, right?
Is he giving up?
And even that didn't take more than 10 minutes! Executing this whole murder plan in such a short time isn't possible.
Well, yeah, it is if he'd prepped.
There's one thing that keeps bothering me. Do we agree that the culprit attacked Yuko right after the door opened, and then they carried her to the top of the tower? If so, they attacked Yuko and moved her to the bell tower at 7 o'clock on the dime, returned to the Mana Cruise and met with Shin, started jogging, parted with him, and went to the top of the tower again, checked that you and Rara were there, and murdered Riri by jumping off, dealt with the rope and the life vest, and then came back to the Mana Cruise. All within such a short period of time?
Shinji, at what time did you meet with Hajime this morning?
Well, it was around 7:15 a.m.
Even if we say the culprit ambushed Yoriko at 7 a.m., 5 minutes to run to the tower, 5 minutes to rush up the stairs, 5 minutes to rush back down, 5 minutes back to the cruise, there just wouldn't be enough time, even if Hajime buffed up his strength somehow.
Oh, there'd be enough time, all right. All you have to do is remove a step, and all the pieces fit perfectly into place.
Did he jump down twice?
Remove a step? Were the stairs the only way down?
Yeah.
No. He could have slid down the rope.
Ooh.
As if he were riding an elevator.
Rope burn.
Didn't he already adjust their rope length for that?
Ah, that makes sense.
But wasn't the rope that connected to the life vest also connected to Yuri's body? Yuri died at 7:30 a.m., but if he rode the rope at that time, he would have killed Yuri after jumping.
He just had to get rid of the rope's connection with Yuri. Hajime could have simply yanked out the hook from Yuri's calf while he was carrying Yoriko to the top. Ew. Not a lot of people wander outside in the morning. And Hajime would be the first person to enter the bell tower. Wouldn't everything be solved if we assume that he put it back into Yuri's leg?
This is possible. That's right. There was another wound on Yuri's body. Must have been because of that. The wound he had was the right hook. Or the right leg, I mean.
Got it. The mysterious stab wound on Yuri's right calf. Kanade's hypothesis would explain how that wound was created in the first place. Initially, the hook was in Yuri's right calf, but in order to save time after moving Yoriko to the top, the culprit used it as a mode of transportation.
In other words, the culprit took out the hook from his right calf to move down, then hooked it back into Riri's left calf when he returned?
After meeting with Shinji, the only thing left for him was to take his plan into action. So when he saw Yuki and Sora making their way to the top of the bell tower, he jumped down to kill Yuri.
Wait, Rara. You said a while ago that the culprit used wires to slow the falling and cushion the impact.
Yeah.
But if he used the rope before the murder, like you just said, doesn't that mean there was nothing to cushion the impact?
Ah, that's true. The wires cutting Yuri's body would break the fall when the culprit killed him. But if he jumped with nothing but a small hook on the other side, there wouldn't be anything to slow him down.
What if he fell onto Yuri's body?
Isn't this a bit problematic?
I don't think that would cushion the fall enough, but...
I remember Miss Little Sis saying anyone who fell from that height would get their shoulders crushed.
No, it's not a problem this time. I know this sounds like I'm contradicting my own words, but unlike back then, we know for sure who the culprit is.
The culprit? Are you speaking of Hajime?
Because he's the ultimate boxer, are they saying his arms are strong enough to not dislocate? I don't know if I buy that, but...
Earlier, I said anyone would end up with a shoulder injury because I didn't know who the culprit was. Hajime is the ultimate boxer. Wouldn't he be able to withstand some degree of impact with his great physique? After all, no one cares more about their health than he does.
Yeah, but like, it's a 5-minute staircase, dog.
The life vest also would have absorbed some of the impact, right?
But doesn't that sound a bit unrealistic?
I'm kind of with Yuki.
And even if he could survive the fall, that doesn't explain why he would bother setting up those wires.
Exactly.
Why waste time preparing a braking system when you can just endure the impact in the first place?
Yuki's cooking.
In your opinion, whom amongst us would possess the fortitude necessary to pull off such a feat?
Huh? Well, based on pure muscle, I guess Hajime or Big Bro?
You see? The list of potential culprits has instantaneously been reduced to 2 individuals.
Okay, but that doesn't address Yuki's point. That has nothing to... I mean, that doesn't address what Yuki just said.
Huh?
Oh, I get it. The fact that they were set up could be so the culprit could use their existence as an alibi.
Oh, it's like a double bluff? Really? I guess.
If there weren't any breaks, the second that jumping trick was revealed, our first question would obviously be, who could endure the impact?
Exactly. Of course, he also might have still needed a safety device to lessen the pain of the full impact. Regardless of whether or not Hajime ended up enduring the impact, it's a definitive truth that the culprit jumped twice from the top of the bell tower, and therefore our conclusion would also be correct. Perhaps we should also examine Hajime's shoulders and see if we find any other condemning evidence.
Yeah, I think it's way more likely he did hurt himself and is just hiding it.
Yeah. The culprit would have had plenty of time at night to estimate the strength of the impact through experimentation.
I just find it hard to believe he would not be injured at all.
If I may interject, Yuki stated that he received a message from Yuri asking for assistance, but the existence of this correspondence in itself is extremely suspicious. Yuri, with his acute misinjury, reaching out to another man
I
on the
said
verge
that
of his own
ages
death.
ago. I think that was a setup.
Is it not unnatural?
Most certainly. Yuki even said that Yuri was delighted at the idea of being killed by a woman. It's definitely not the attitude of someone who would ask for help if such a thing had actually happened.
The message was probably sent to Yuki by Hajime, using Yuri E-Handbook Plus to create an alibi.
Yep, I locked that one down a while ago.
That way, he'd be able to make whoever witnessed the murder scene run up to the top of the tower to catch the culprit.
Now I see why he used a syringe with measurements on it to inject the anesthetic. It was to make sure that Yuri woke up the second Sora and I got to the tower.
And that Yuruko woke up as soon as you got up the stairs.
So, Jimmy was really thinking that far ahead when he planned the murder?
Hey! Why are you all so confident that Hajime's the culprit?
Because literally all the evidence supports it.
So the culprit set up wires not only to cushion the impact, but to confuse us and set up an alibi.
Man, I'm gonna have to do like a bullet time battle, and I don't wanna. It was hard in the last game. I know it's gonna be hard in this one too.
And then he used the rope to move down. I'd say that theory checks out. But why did he put the hook in Yuri's leg and then take it back out?
I guess because, like, he used the 2 different legs, because after you do it once, you don't want it falling out, because if it falls out, then he's cooked, so he probably just used the other leg.
He could have gone down the tower with the rope first, and then put it in his leg.
Could it be, perchance, that Miss Kabayu's interference threw a wrench into the culprit's machinations?
You can't just say perchance.
Through a wrench?
Allow me to explain my reasoning. Being unable to enter the monocruise once the slumbering hours occurred. the culprit was left with no option but to wait until morning. Therefore, it was crucial that they board the ship the moment the gates opened so they could play the part of the innocent. But Miss Kaguya stated that she exited the monocruise the instant the gates opened. Perhaps the two had a fateful encounter. Thus, the culprit had no choice but to ambush her in order to eliminate any possibility of her going to the bell tower. It would have completely jeopardized his carefully laid out plans after all.
I agree with Mikado. If you think about it, jumping off the top of the bell tower like that without anything to cushion your fall is just insane. It would have been a risky gamble, even for Hajime. He wouldn't have done it unless he was forced to, due to some outside interference.
Sure.
But, like, why did Ruko even go out that early in the morning? It makes her super suspicious, you know?
She said she was gonna investigate, which makes sense, because that's kind of like all she's been doing.
I told you already. I just wanted to get a head start on my investigation.
Yeah, no, that lines up with how she's acted.
With everyone's morale being boosted from the party, I felt motivated to really give it my all. But the murder made the whole thing pointless, of course.
Well, I think we finally put all the pieces together. Is there anything we're missing, Hajime?
Hajime kind of seems to have given up, so...
Hey! Hajime! I still believe in you!
Man...
Why are you just standing there? Tell them they're wrong!
They're wrong, Mondo! Tell them!
I admit, everything they've said seems to line up nicely. I'm not sure where to start.
Maybe that's because you're guilty?
That's enough! Oops. Don't you believe in your friends at all?
Unfortunately, Shinji, we have no choice but to doubt.
You're all teaming up on me with weak, bullshit speculation. There's nothing else to say.
Weak speculation? Okay. Yeah, here's the bullet hell. Oh, this is like argument armament. Okay. Difficulty rises. Try to shoot down the true feelings shown in black. Before you can present the evidence, you must break off armor. Move the cursor and press Z. What? So Z and shift? Okay, I'm gonna have to like adjust my posture. Occasionally you see a black argument. If you shoot that, don't shoot black ones, okay. After breaking all the layers, then we do the bing, bang, 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 okay. Alright, so Z, shift, and arrows.
What a load of crap!
Wait.
You've got no proof! Why are you suspecting me? That ain't convincing! I refuse to believe this!
Oh my
you guys
God.
really falling for this shit? You've got no evidence! What a load of crap!
Where's the
That ain't
evidence?
convincing.
Without the
You've got
evidence,
no
it's all
proof.
bullshit.
Why are you suspecting me? You guys really falling for this shit? I refuse to believe this!
It's over.
You've got no evidence!
It's over.
You guys really falling for this shit? I refuse to believe this! What a load of crap! You've got no proof! Why are you suspecting me? That ain't convincing! I refuse to believe this! You guys really falling for this shit? Logic is bullshit! You've got no evidence!
It's bullshit.
What a
It's
load of
bullshit, and I
crap.
refuse to acknowledge it.
You've got no proof! Why are you suspecting me? You guys really falling for this shit? I refuse to believe this! Your logic is bullshit!
It's over. It's over.
I'm done for. What's the point? What a load of crap! You've got no proof! Why are you suspecting me? That ain't convincing! I refuse to believe this! You guys really falling for this shit? Logic is bullshit! You've got no evidence! What a load of crap!
Alright, we're one layer in.
I refuse to believe this! Logic is bullshit! Why are you suspecting me? You guys really falling for this shit? You've got no evidence! What a load of crap! Why are you suspecting me? Got no proof! That ain't convincing! I refuse to believe this! You've got no evidence! What a load of crap! That ain't convincing! What's the point? Your logic is bullshit! Why are you suspecting me? You guys really falling for this shit? You've got no evidence! What a load of crap! Why are you suspecting me? Got no proof!
Come on, at least give me different dialogue.
What's the point? You've got no evidence. What a load of crap. That ain't convincing. I refuse to believe this. Your logic is bullshit. Why are you suspecting me? You guys really falling for this shit? You've got no evidence. What's the point? Why are you suspecting me? Got no
This is gonna play in my head all night.
I refuse to believe this! You've got no evidence. A load of crap. That ain't convincing! I refuse to believe this! Logic is bull... You've got no proof! Why are you suspecting me? It's over. It's over. I'm done for. I refuse to believe this! You've got no evidence! A load of crap! That ain't convincing! I refuse to believe this! You've got no evidence! Logic is bullshit! A load of crap! You've got no proof! It's over. Why are you suspecting me? I refuse to believe this! What's the point? That ain't convincing!
One wrong move, then you're done for. Anything I don't go through, then you're done for.
Crap. That ain't convincing! I refuse to believe this! You've got no evidence! Logic is bullshit! A load of crap! You've got no proof! You've got no evidence! What's the point? I refuse to believe this! Got no proof! Why are you suspecting me? That ain't convincing! Logic is bullshit!
Alright.
Tell me why the hell I'm suspicious!
Unusual behavior for Hajime. I think.
This is the end.
No! Stop it!
Okay, but that voice line ate. Look at that, 100%. That's gonna get harder with each chapter, but for now.
Hey, Hajime, are you really going to insist that you were drunk? You, Hajime Makinouchi, got completely drunk?
That's what they're talking about. Because, like, getting plastered is bad for your health.
Nobody in our group cares more about their health than you, Hajime. I thought it was kind of strange that you were drinking at the party.
I see. Okay, that's fair, that's fair.
You did say drinking a bit was good for your health?
Yeah.
You've made it sound like you drank way more than that.
And I just can't see someone like you not being able to restrain themselves from drinking.
This is true, this is true.
There's a little thing called mood at a party, you know? I'm human just like the rest of you.
It's not definitive proof, but it's combined with everything else pretty damning.
Even I can cut loose and ignore my health for a bit.
Ah, Mac, I just remembered. You were the one who invited Riri to the party, weren't you?
Oh, damn.
Right. He suggested that we invite Yuri, saying he's not entirely a bad person. Even then, he hadn't forgotten to talk about the importance of health.
Damn it! Hajime, what the hell were you thinking?
Alright, his placement on the tier list is gonna hinge pretty much solely on his motive, which I'm sure we'll get after the trial, when they have that big emotional speech before the execution.
I'm not the culprit.
Fine, have it your way. Let's review this case from the start, then you'll have no choice but to admit to your crimes.
Alright, I think I know how this goes, but I just want to read the controls. Ooh, fake frames. Okay. Okay. How do I... Okay, so I have to start. Oh, shit! No, go back, go back, go back. No. What did I press X to reset the page? Well, that didn't work. No, I just wanted to look at them. Yuri. No, this was the first one. Okay, shit. This is all wrong. Okay, I can change it. Okay. I see. Okay. So this, then this, then this, then this. Yeah, that's right. Help us out. 1, 2, 3, 4. No. Injecting. Oh, shit. Okay. Nope, already messed up. I keep pressing the wrong buttons. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Wait, I was wrong? Okay, Culprit injected. Takes to the bell tower. Oh, did they take him to the bell tower and then inject him? I guess? Oh, ah! I meant to do it confirm that time. Okay, there. Adjusting the length. Ah! No! I keep pressing... Ah. Confirm instead of what I actually mean to press. Okay. There. No! After adjusting the rope. Okay, so this first, then look in the back of the grease cap. Okay, that first. Then they split off. Then this. Oh. I'm not... Okay, yeah. Okay, so I was right, it just wasn't the right order. Or yeah, I was having it too soon. Okay. Then Yuri tweaked. Then we got there. He jumped. Okay, so we saw the body. Oh wait, that's the corpse, so that's not the same as us seeing him the first time. So up, cut, gravity, corpse. And they had to go back. Yeah, that's wrong. So we went up, they ran, rejoined, pretends to be shocked.
This is the truth of the case.
Okay.
It all began when Yuri started saying all that weird stuff about wanting to die for a single woman. He knew we were all growing desperate, so he offered any girl the chance to kill him and escape.
Are we ever gonna find out what that was about? I mean, he's kind of dead now, but...
Unfortunately, his words caught the attention of this case's culprit. If Yuri had been killed, everyone would suspect a woman of being the culprit. The culprit used this to their advantage in the murder. However, Yuri had locked himself away and only answered to women. Setsuka decided she wanted to host a surprise party to get everyone to cheer up. Our culprit saw this party as a critical part of their plan. After getting himself involved with the party setup, he was able to convince everyone to invite Yuri. While preparing the party, our culprit took the opportunity to swap some of the drinks with alcohol. This was to make sure people would get drunk.
Funky beats.
It wasn't long after the party started when Yuri, a man who was fond of alcohol, had become completely intoxicated. Both our culprit and the victim drank late into the night until they had to return to the monocruise. Once the party reached its end, our culprit helped Yuri and slipped away from the others. As a result, both the culprit and the victim were left all alone at night outside the monocruise. Once separated, the culprit took our victim directly to the bell tower. Since this all took place at night, there were no witnesses or interruptions that could affect them. Yuri was already passed out from being drunk, but to be extra sure, our culprit used a syringe to inject him with an anesthetic solution that would keep him out for a long time. Since our culprit had plenty of time until morning, he took some time to practice his method. It was during this practice that they made sure all of their measurements were perfect. Once the culprit was satisfied with their preparations, they had to wait outside until morning. Once the morning announcement went off, our culprit was going to enter the monocruise. As soon as the doors opened, Yoriko stepped out of the monocruise. If she had gone to the bell tower, this whole case would have been ruined for the culprit.
Act 3.
The culprit had no choice but to inject her with the remaining anesthetic and moved her to the bell tower. Although the decision was made in the moment, it actually ended up driving suspicion away from them. During this time, the culprit had become late to their morning jog with Shinji, so they had to hurry. So, they removed the hook from Yuri's right calf while moving Yoriko. Going both up and down the stairs would take too much time, so they decided to use the hook as a means of transportation. With Yoriko in tow, the culprit rushed to the top of the bell tower. With the hook detached, our culprit quickly jumped off the tower using their fulcrum method. Normally, they would injure themselves without the weight of Yuri and the wires to slow them down. But they decided to take a risk and put their faith into their fitness and health.
I still think that would kill him. Like, a 5-minute flight of stairs, dog? Like, you die if you fall wrong off a pretty short distance. I don't know.
Luckily for our culprit, his talent was perfect for something like this. The culprit, who had shortened his travel time, joined with Shinji in the monocruise. During the jog, our culprit made an excuse to depart from Shinji for a moment. Returning to the bell tower, the culprit rearranged the hook placement. They couldn't reuse the right calf, as it had been completely torn up. So they inserted it into the left calf.
Yeah.
This is the reason he had wounds on both of his calves.
I said that earlier, yes.
Once everything was ready, the culprit used Yuri's e-handbook plus to send a distress message to Yuki.
But aren't they fingerprint locked? I feel like they should at least address that he probably had to use Yuri's hand to unlock it.
As Yuki received the distress message, our culprit quickly made their way up to the bell tower. Once the culprit heard that we had arrived and Yuri had woken up, the culprit jumped off the bell tower once again, this time with the intention of murder. Yuri, who was connected to the life jacket via the hooks, was sent flying into the air. As Yuri flew up, he was cut by several sharp wires that had been set up by the culprit. The culprit, now safely on the ground, cut the rope and... Yuri was
This
sent
is not
falling
as fun
downwards
cutting the
finishing
rope
off.
as the mobile game.
Since there was nothing to slow his fall, it was without a doubt the true cause of death. Yuri, who we had just witnessed alive a moment earlier, was now a bloody mess on the ground.
I like how Sora just looks like mildly alarmed and Yuki's completely tweaking out.
This is the truth of Yuri's death as Yuki and I had witnessed it. Once we saw the gruesome sight, we decided to rush up the stairs, hoping to find the culprit at the top. While we rushed to the top, the culprit disposed of the life jacket and was hurried towards the monocruise. Doing so would give them an alibi when the body discovery announcement went off. Fortunately for them and their fitness, they were able to make it back in time for the announcement. Right after the body discovery announcement, the culprit made their way to the bell tower with everyone else. In doing so, they reacted innocently with everyone else and pretended to be shocked by the event. However, this was all an act. In truth, they had been the one to kill Yuri. That culprit is without a doubt.
Man.
You, Hajime Makinochi, the ultimate boxer!
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
It's over, Hajime. You are the culprit.
Well, I guess I can't argue against that.
Does that mean?
It can't be helped. They got it all right. I'm sorry, Shinji, but I'm the culprit.
We did it, everybody! I'm 2 for 2! Let's go! What's my credit score? How much money do I get? A? That's good, right? There's no S, right? I feel like, unless, like, would all perfects be S? But... Do-do-do-do-do-do. Alright, how much money? Give me money. Oh my goodness, 11,000? That's like 20-something gifts. Hehehe. More money? Oh, nice. Alright, this is wonderful news.
Have we reached a conclusion? That wasn't nearly as interesting as I thought it would be.
I thought it was pretty good, Monocro.
Are you ready to see if your answer is right or wrong? As a warning, you only have one chance. I will assume that you've had enough time and proceed to the voting. Ladies and gentlemen, use the panel in front of you to vote for who you believe to be the culprit. Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What is it going to be?
Show me the votes. Bing, bing, bing. Even the wheel has 16 slots? Oh, someone's definitely coming in. For sure. And 7 years ago. Yes, please. Your answer is correct. The culprit who killed Yuri Kagarin was... Hajime Makan...
Congratulations!
Okay, Monocro. Congratulations on coming to the correct conclusion.
Fuck!
Hajime, how could you? Well, if the rebuttal showdown's anything to go by, Shinji, there's a good chance you're next.
My bad.
I'm sorry. Man, all that and all he has to say is my bad.
What?
Sorry? You're the culprit. You murdered Yuri, and all you have to say for yourself is, I'm sorry? Why? Hajime, why would you, of all people, kill someone?
That's...
Right. Please, give us an answer. Why did you kill Yuri, Hajime?
Hi.
I can't tell you.
Huh? You can't tell us?
Yes.
You wouldn't understand. Even if I did, and it would only make you despise me more than you already do. You're gonna die, man. It doesn't matter what we think of you.
Stupid!
Are you serious? It's your fault you had to go through this whole trial mess in the first place. We do all this and you don't even give us a straight answer?
But...
Well, to be honest, you weren't very helpful, sis.
Hey now.
Mac, please tell us. We just want to know why. Did you forget about the rules of the class trial?
Huh? The rules?
Yikes.
If the Blacken's identity is revealed in the trial, they'll be punished.
Listen.
Right. Hajime, you're about to die now. Don't you realize that? Yeah, that was exactly what I said. Indeed, those are the cruel rules of the class trial. If the Blacken is identified during the class trial, they alone will be punished. Since Monocro confirmed our answer, Hajime is without a doubt the Blackened that killed Yuri, and thus, Hajime won't be able to escape from the inevitability of his imminent death. She's
Yeah,
right, Hajime.
but-
We don't despise you, but we have to know. What led you to commit murder with no motive?
That's why...
Like, no given motive, I mean.
Was it because you wanted to escape? That's all?
That's...
It was the same for all of us. We all have friends and family waiting for us out there. He's gotta be on the clock then. Like, you know how like Teru's mom was terminally ill? Maybe it's something like that? We all had the willpower to hold in our desire to escape. It's hard to believe Hajime would just murder someone because he wanted to leave.
To be honest...
You must have had another reason. Something that pushed you to commit murder. Mac, just tell us what it was. If you don't, I really don't know if we'll ever be able to move forward from this.
My bad.
I'm sorry. I still can't tell you. Hajime!
But
You're right. I didn't kill Yuri just to get off this island. I had to commit murder, so I did. My decision didn't have a process. The only thing left to behold is the outcome. Whatever my true reason was, I killed Yuri. I'm not trying to make any excuses here.
hi.
I just want to die the way I am now, as a murderer.
Hajime.
Come on.
Die? Don't just jump to conclusions. That's not decided yet. Just wait. I'm sure there'll be another way. This is so Takamando.
Huh?
What are you talking about? There are no exceptions to the rules on this island. Are you turning to escapism now?
But wait.
No, but
I'm sorry.
Hold on just a second, Hajime. Did you say you wanted to die as a murderer?
Huh?
What are you getting at, Kokoro?
Not true.
That's not what you're thinking at all.
What are you saying?
It's clear to me now.
You cannot deceive me, Hajime. The emotion in your words just now. You're hiding something, well, obviously.
Huh?
What's the matter, Kokoro?
I'll explain.
While it's true that Hajime's words just now seem stoic, his thoughts betray something else entirely. She's too overpowered. There is no way she's seeing Chapter 3. Hajime is under the belief that he himself will not die at all.
Are you for real?
what do you mean, Kokoro? Are you reading his thoughts or something?
Aside from that...
I know your mind reading is real, Kokoro, but doesn't seem a bit off for Mac to think that way right now.
Well...
I cannot read his exact emotions because of those sunglasses covering his eyes. But I see there was an abnormal reason for your murder of Yuri. What was it?
What are you saying?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I was prepared to die. I have nothing more to say. Monocro, just start your stupid punishment. Mr. Makanuchi, you may tell them.
What?
Now then.
You may tell them the truth. I suppose you are concerned about the consequences, but that is of no matter. Did you have something to do with it, you little shit? Speak freely. Besides, I doubt we can hide this from Kokoro any longer.
Better watch it.
Hey, stop bothering him. Why are you trying to make that decision for him? Is this another one of your conspiracies?
But...
Mikado, are you sure it's okay? Huh?
Good grief.
Completely. You're already aware of our abilities, yes? Well, we cannot reveal everything at this moment. Telling them your reason for murder should be acceptable. I will handle the aftermath. Do as you please, Mr. Makanuchi.
Huh? Those two, what are they talking about right now?
Ah, I see.
Really? Well, if you say so. Nothing's ever gone wrong listening to you. Is he like the traitor? Hajime, what's going on here? After finishing that sentence, Hajime took a deep breath. Then, he spoke. CG? Yeah. Oh!
So, y'all want to know why I committed murder, huh?
Is this like a Kinjo level crash out?
The answer's simple. It's because I was supposed to commit murder.
You were the first, like, plan to be the first culprit? What's the sitch here, man? His eyes full of madness, his mouth letting out a twisted tone of voice. The Hajime we knew was gone, and in his place was a Hajime we had never seen before.
Whoa, what are you talking about, Hajime? You're acting really strange.
What's so strange?
This is like the
You
Nagito
all wanted
crash
to know why
out.
I did it, right? And it's just as I said. It was my mission to murder.
I don't understand what you're saying. And something doesn't look right about you now.
I have this weird sense of deja vu. Like after a first trial, this is just kind of what happens.
Sorry for keeping quiet. But since it's already too late, and Mikado gave me permission, I'd like to say it out loud to y'all.
I don't... Say what out loud?
Careful now.
Although this must be painful to hear, I must reveal that Mr. Makanuchi is a proud member of Void.
Void? What's that?
That's the name of the organization Mikado briefly mentioned on the first day we came to the island, so yeah, traitor, I guess. Huh? Didn't he just make that up for his false persona?
But... It looks like that wasn't the case.
That's right. I'm working with Mikado, the mastermind behind this whole killing game.
What?
It's a lie. This can't be. I mean, I feel like if I knew Hajime a little better, this would have more of an impact, but...
It is no lie. This fact perfectly explains Hajime's strange behavior. It was all planned out from the start.
What? Then everything he did, everything we know him for, it was all an act? So is that why there was no first motive? Because there was a traitor who was always planned to kill someone first?
Hey.
I told you, didn't I? If I tell you why I killed you all, you'd hate me even more. I was trying to pay you all back for our past week together by getting off the stage as quietly as possible. Hajime, were you really on the mastermind side this whole time?
Yes.
That's right. I've been on his side from the very first day of this field trip. No, before that, from the very start of his plan. Was this the real Yaoi all along? That's...
Are you for real?
The world-famous boxing star Hajime Makanuchi involved in a large-scale criminal organization like this? Damn it. Normally this would be perfect for a headline, but I'm in shock. I can't believe it.
You're on stuff?
You, Hajime! Why? How come? What do you mean by supposed to murder?
I believe they likely coordinated this event in advance. You must kill someone to escape the island. It's easier said than done. The killing game could easily fall into a deadlock when its centerpiece is something as wicked as murder. I suppose Hajime's role was to break the deadlock by committing the first murder. Am I correct?
I'm impressed.
Indeed. We'd planned everything in advance. It would have been serendipitous for a murder to have occurred without Mr. Makanuchi's involvement. But reality is rarely that cooperative.
What the?
That conversation at the dining hall yesterday. Do you remember when Yuri said our motive to murder was weak? Back then, Mikado answered the killing game was structured so that someone would kill.
I'm kidding!
Is this what he meant by that? Hajime worked for the mastermind and hid among us in our daily lives? And if a murder didn't occur, he was gonna come out and do it himself?
Now then.
Now that we've crossed this threshold, I believe it would be best to drive the dagger of despair in even deeper. Allow me to reveal one more painful truth to all of you.
You see.
In truth, Mr. Makanuchi and I are not the only members of Void. What? Myself included, Void is an organization of 5 members in total, so we know 2. So there's 3 more. Oh, okay. So there's 3 more. Yuki is probably one of them, right? Because, like, he's got his whole thing going on. This is interesting. Okay. Do you fully grasp the implications of what this means?
No way.
That means there's more of us besides Hajime that are working for you right now?
What?
No way. Who are they? There are 3 imposters among us. Naturally, I cannot say. Oh, and if this wasn't already evident, the late Mr. Kagurine is excluded from all this. It's truly a tragedy. He would have made the school trip so much more interesting had he lived a little bit longer.
Either way.
I had no choice. It was to create a conflict of men versus women for the exact recreation of this case. Yuri was the only one whose death would be able to achieve that. He stirred up theories of a woman being the culprit just by being the victim of this case.
Huh?
What? Hajime, don't tell me the sole reason you murdered someone.
Hey.
You listening, Shinji? My mission was to kill someone. All I had to do was choose who. Of course, I had to prepare the murder and all the tricks by myself as well. It was a load of work and a lot of weight on my shoulders.
But
I tried my best to win, but I guess it was too hard for me to deceive the brain power of 13 people. I mean, but he should have known he was always gonna fail, because it would be a really boring killing game if he won, right? Not to mention, it would have been a whole other problem when I actually won. Yeah, exactly. You bastard! Huh? Big bro, no violence! Uh-oh. Ooh. Unable to repress his anger, Shinji ran towards Hajime, but Hajime easily overpowered Shinji, someone taller than himself, with a single punch.
dumbass.
Are you nuts? Did you really think you could challenge the ultimate boxer? Yeah, you're just a firefighter, man. Mr. Makunuchi, even if you are able to depart, violations of the rules under my watch is unacceptable.
Yes.
Doesn't matter. My job's done here.
Hey!
Shinji!
My god.
He's out cold.
You're kidding!
What was that? Hajime, you hit Big Bro with your full strength? We've been together a week now. I thought you saw us all as your friends.
Unforgivable!
Did everything that happened this week mean nothing to you? It's just a week, Yuri. I almost said Yuri. Yuki.
Yeah, well.
Well, it was enjoyable to some extent. At one point, I really did feel like I'd made some real friends.
But
Why? Why did you bring us here just to make us kill each other? Kokoro, can't you just read his mind and find out?
I'm sorry.
Mind reading is not perfect. Cannot be used anytime I desire either. It can only tell the general emotional state and mood of the individual, not their exact thoughts. I can't just simply understand why he's decided to side with the mastermind. What I can tell you right now, though, is that everything Hajime said is true.
My bad.
Anyway, sorry for tricking you guys, but I couldn't help it. I can't live on without this plan.
But
What does that mean?
Hey now.
Pardon me, Mr. Sonoji and Mr. Makunuchi. Every time you voids get the spotlight, I feel like I'm reduced to a mere bird with no purpose. I have my role as teacher and judge, and it seems like the time has come for me to do my job as well. Ah, yes. Seems I was a bit too hasty in giving my surprise announcement. Without further ado, Mr. Monocro, please begin the grand finale of the class trial.
Very well.
Execution. I've prepared a very special punishment for this case's blackened Hajime Makunuchi, the ultimate boxer. Didn't Kokoro say he's not gonna die or something? So I'm not sure what the sitch is here, but I think that's enough, Mikado. You don't have to go this far. I don't need the punishment, so just tell me the way out, and I'll be waiting for you there. Never mind, he's cooked.
Huh?
I beg your pardon? I'm afraid I don't follow. You are the loser of this trial, and therefore you will be executed.
Hey.
Whoa, stop joking around. I was supposed to leave after this. Surely you won't actually kill me, will you?
Good grief.
I will.
What?
But
Forgive me, Mr. Makunuchi, but even I cannot bend the rules of this game. Are you not aware that we Void are participating on the side of the students? I'm certain you have not forgotten that the correctly identified Blackened must face execution.
What are you saying?
I said stop joking around.
Oh,
Shall we begin?
I see.
Oh, this is just part of the act, right? You're just pretending, right? Farewell, Mr. Makunuchi. I shan't forget you.
Farewell.
There is no need to cower in fear like that. Who knows? Perhaps if our plan succeeds, a blessing of fortune may be able to resurrect you. Hey!
You son of a bitch! Do you think the other three are just gonna let you get away with this? I'll reveal the entire plan right now!
Nope, he's cooked.
It's punishment time!
Come on, man, at least say as much as you can if you're gonna betray him. Alright, let's do it. What you got for me? The production value has been nothing but amazing so far, so... Bring it on. Reach so high. Yeah, come on. The classic dragging out. Super Makanooching machine. Oh, it's like sock and boppers. So it's like the 1,000 blows, but in boxing form. He's gonna punch the head off. Oh, the head's gonna come off, isn't it? The head's gonna come off. Oh, no, okay. Maybe not. Or are they gonna do one last hit and the head's gonna come off? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Or they're just gonna grind him up. That works too. No! They turned him into a marketable plushie! They turned him into a marketable plushie! Oh no! No, Monocro! Don't turn me into a marketable plushie! My apologies again, Mr. Makanuchi. But you should have realized, no matter what may befall you, the Void all have no choice but to obey me without question. Man. Crazy work.
Farewell.
Adios, Mr. Makanuchi. Thank you for the entertainment.
What was that?
My god, is this real? Although he'd sided with the mastermind and killed Yuri, the life of a person who had been breathing and alive a moment ago had vanished in another. As we witnessed the shocking scene, no one was able to let out a word about the sudden influx of new information.
Hey.
Huh?
Oh, you spoke. I forgot you were here, Loki. Oh, have you finally awakened? Just now, I sensed some interesting stuff was going on. Interesting?
So let me get this straight.
Anyway, here's what you said. There's 5 masterminds among us, including yourself. I don't know if I'd call them masterminds, I just call them traitors, because they'll seem to be under him. Said masterminds are pre-planned to carry out murder if none of us do. Are you guys making us participate in order to achieve some kind of purpose?
Well done.
That would be correct.
Alright.
So then, why'd you just betray your allies? Yeah, like, are the other 3 voids not gonna be like, wait a minute, you know, like...
So what?
Like the boxer said, I don't think the other 3 are just gonna twiddle their thumbs and do nothing about this. What do you think?
Careful now.
Mr. Hashimoto, correct me if I'm wrong, but is it not your creed to stay out of the affairs of others? Lest it benefit you directly.
Are you serious
I do.
right now?
It's just out of curiosity. Satisfying my curiosity would directly benefit me, right?
Ah, shit.
From the moment you revealed yourself as the mastermind on the first day here, I still have yet to figure you out even one bit. I gotta wonder how perfect your plan is for you to be okay with all the ways you're spoiling things. Our business is none of your concern. This applies to the remaining 3 members of Void as well. I can understand you may be confounded by my actions today.
Well then.
But as we have reached the conclusion of this trial, I ask that you please think things over carefully in your rooms. Whether this was an act of mere betrayal or a sacrifice for the greater good. Oh, okay, bye. After finishing his sentence, Mikado disappeared into flames. Aside from Shobai, the rest of us stood still in the class trial room without knowing what or how to speak.
Well, great.
Is it over? About time. I'm heading back. Now then, everyone, let's head back to the Mono Cruise. I know this is hard. Even Big Sis herself here is barely standing tall right now.
But...
We need to move on. Let's return to the Mono Cruise. Let's go back and think on this. Kokoro is a mind reader, so she should be able to figure it out, I hope.
Oh dear.
Right. Shinji's still knocked out cold. We need to take him to the infirmary.
Hey.
Oh, right. Biki, Kana, could you two help me out?
Not happening.
Don't touch me.
What?
No way!
Stay away from me! There's 3 voids among us, and they're all working with the mastermind. I can't trust anyone aside from Kanade. Get out of my sight!
What the?
What are you talking about? What's more important is...
Sis!
Oh, sis. Calm down and think about this first. What's your problem? How dare you interrupt your older sister when she's talking?
Huh?
Sorry. Please don't be mad at me.
Hey.
What about you, Kanade? What if both of you sisters are members of Void? That's not true. Well, it's easy for you to say. Sorry, but as a journalist, I suspect everything I see.
Hey!
Wait, then what about you? Do you have any evidence that you're not part of Void? You know, excuse me. It's also possible to think you planned together with Hajime to intentionally muddle up the case. The both of you working together as fellow members of Void. What? What did you just say?
Calm down.
Calm down, you guys. Why are you suddenly fighting? We can't suspect each other like this. If Mikado and Hajime are speaking the truth, it'll be hard to put trust in anyone from now on.
I'm sorry.
But carry Shinji by yourselves. If you're going to act like this, I guess I can't trust you guys either. Hey, why is everyone...
There's no use.
It's no use, Setsuka. Maybe this was how we were meant to be. We were all afraid of being killed by one another from the start, and now that we know there's 3 other masterminds in disguise, it'd be a miracle if things ever went back to the way they were before.
Hey now.
What's wrong with you? Sure, Riri and Mac are dead. Yes, 3 of us are on the mastermind side. So what? Should we just give up on everything we've built up to this point and start killing each other? Don't you think that's even more ridiculous?
Sorry.
I may have gone too far, but at least for now, no one's in their right state of mind.
Shoot.
If only Big Bro was awake.
This is...
Everyone's gone crazy. Roha, how about you? Setsuka. Rara. Let's go. We should take Shinji to the infirmary. Oh, okay. The dramatic scene was like a perfect summary on how the infectious disease becomes a pandemic. Some of our bonds were already unstable from the start. The class trial just hammered the final nail in the coffin. Even Setsuka, who was trying to encourage everyone, deep behind her words could lie some form of distrust in us. Our lives together will never be the same, thanks to this class trial. All that was left was the impact of a small seed named Void that Mikado had left behind. Well, that was awful. After carrying Shinji to the infirmary with Setsuka, I silently left the Mono Cruise on my own. Some time had passed and night arrived, but the chaos still remains in the Mono Cruise. A chaos where you can't trust anyone. A chaos where your only ally is yourself. The prevailing distrust that we were currently feeling could easily lead to a murder while I walk along the beach now. Is there even anything I can do about it? In my current state of affairs, all I can do is just watch as the chaos unfolds. To avoid being lost inside the turmoil, I strolled along the night seashore in silence. Who am I? Who am I to have to go through these events at this place? If anyone out there knows the answer, please tell me. Are we gonna get a vision? Oh! Hello? Huh? What was that sound just now? A-E-I-O-U? E-I-E-I-O? Are they trying to say Yuki Maeda? Through the sound of the wind and the waves of the night sea, I heard a man's voice. Ignoring my overwhelming anxiety from hearing the sudden voice, I approached the origin of this. Is it like Teruya? Tsurugi? And there I found... Oh! Hey! Hey, buddy! Oh, man. I I think this might be our 16th student, gang.
It's that person?
All right. Well. Yeah, there he is. We found him. Well. Oh, cool. Cool. Nice. Oh, that's cool. They get their own title card. That's sick. Yep. Okay. Not now, not yet. All right, let me pull up the tier list. Okay. Well, it looks like Teruya will eventually be making his way on the tier list. But no new revelations about Yuri. So he's staying there. This guy funny, he can go up. She's really useful, so she can go up. Or not go up, she can stay. But I think she's so cooked. Like, I refuse to believe that woman sees chapter 3. Hajime. The rest of the C tiers is fine. What do I do with you? Nikkei's going like here. He's still in B, but like he didn't really do anything this trial, and these guys are more interesting to me. I'll do void suspects in a second. I just gotta think where I'm putting Hajime. Because, like, he served his purpose, but I don't know if I find him that interesting, or at least based on what we know so far. He's definitely going up, at least within C tier. But, like, I'm gonna put him between the sisters. That feels about right. And then void suspects? Okay. So there's 5 of them. We know 2. I don't think I have nearly enough information to determine their motive yet. But as for who it could be, I'm kind of sus of... Okay, I think it's... Yuki's definitely up there. I don't know if Yuki knows. I think Yuki might have, like, amnesia or something, but I definitely think Yuki's probably one of them. I'm kind of suspicious of Yuruko, I'm not gonna lie to you. Because doomed Yuri feels like too good of an opportunity. But I'm real sus of Yuki more than her. Maybe Setsuka? I could see it being Setsuka. Because she was very, like, we shouldn't be suspecting each other, guys, you know? I think, Shobai is too obvious. So, I guess if you twisted my arm, maybe even Inori, but she hasn't done anything. I don't know. I think right now my top 3, I don't think it's necessarily all of them, but I think it's at least one of them is Yuruko, Yuki, and Setsuka, I think. But we will see. I have very little info to go on right now, so I'm sure all will be revealed in time. Let's move on over to chatting, I suppose. But yeah, good chapter. Solid chapter. I don't really know if I have any notes, honestly. My only, like, kind of gripe with the case was that fall would have totally killed him. But other than that, quite enjoyable. It is a little, actually, no, that's not true. I take that back. I would have liked to know what Yuri's deal was, but I guess that's something we're just gonna have to find out in, like, free times. It's just not gonna be in the main story. At least as of right now. But yeah, good chapter, good game. Quite good so far. I do worry that the trial mini-games are gonna get really hard, because, like, they were a little difficult, even at this level, at least for me, but then that also might be a skill issue. But if I can do well enough on skills, I think it should be okay. But yeah, I think, oops, I did not mean to do that. Go back. I think that's about all I've got. What's the plan for the rest of the week? We're doing 100 Line again on Saturday, and then we're doing Somnium Files Nirvana Initiative on Sunday. And my schedule will probably be a little funky next week because I am graduating, but I'll put out a schedule for next week as we get closer to that. But yeah, good chapter, good game. Thank you all for coming. This was a blast as always. I hope you all have a great rest of your week, and I will see you all on Saturday. Bye-bye!